Oh my goodness. Wow.
He might call.
Wow.
Wait, hold it.
Welcome, everyone. We are back for the GG Millions, another big show, a big guest, big players at the final table. All you can ask for. We had a week off last week, and now I am joined by Aram Zoblan, who has made a final table of the November 9, I guess, was at whatever the main event. He made the big show, 10K, 7-figure score. Also has won a bracelet, I believe on GGPoker, as a matter of fact. And he is joining us today. Aram, how are you?
Doing great, man. Yeah, thanks for having me and honored to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. I know you are playing the highest stakes constantly on the live felt. You are doing Poker Go. I see you all the time winning heads up final 3, doing big work there. 1.8. You can see that 7-figure score from the actual main event of the WSOP. Pretty sick. Almost 6 million in lifetime earnings. You can see very decorated career there. And we are. How old are you, Aram? You're young. You're in your 20s still, right?
Yeah, barely in my 20s, turning 30 in a few months.
Okay, sneak it in there. Still in the 20s, young and successful in the game, and we're going to be having a fun day today. So we will then take a look at the winner from the last show, which again was on a week break. We had technical difficulties last week, but this is a man, doesn't need much intro. Adrian Mateos, 18 million plus in GG earnings. GGMillions done well himself, and here is the winning hand from the last time we were live. His 4th win was on this very hand. Nice get queens heads up on the button. Pretty good. Covering come to Brazil. Good starter hand here with queens. And as I remember, I think it was, I can't remember if it got in pre-flop. It might have been a cooler like 8s or some pair, under pair at this stack depth. I can't remember. Yeah, so it might have just got going right here. But again, pretty nice to get queens and get raised, have a decision to call or raise. But I guess, can go either way. Adrian does decide to flat, and it comes 8-3-4. What do you like there? You like the flat at this when you're covering with queens and you get played back at?
Yeah, I think heads up, probably the standard is to flat. If you were playing against someone who you didn't really respect to have many bluffs, you probably just stick it in and avoid, getting a king-queen high flop when they have 9s and stuff like that. But
right.
I assume Adrian knows better than I.
Well, he does go ahead and then raise, no heart in his hand. So 8-3-4 with a overpair. Does decide to start attacking, puts it in, and come to Brazil. Maybe at a 3 only, ace-3 or something. I think it's been a while. I believe he did have a pair. There it is. The ace-3 got it in. Can't blame him as played to go ahead and put it in there. Kind of close spot, but does get it in. And the hold for Adrian does take it down. Again, one of the most decorated players live and online. Gets himself another title and a well-played game there. Come to Brazil, who was rocking the Marcelo Aziz, who was a guest on the show and won that free roll for 2nd place at the Bahamas for 4.6 million using that avatar, but that is not that player. And the nice score, nice result for both players. Well played. That is again, last time we were here on the show. Today, we're going to see a winner again. We're going to get to see all the 9 final tablists today. We're going to preview them. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall GG Million all-time ranking. There's Artur, man. 11 titles, obnoxious. He has almost as much as 2nd and 3rd combined. I see 8 down there for Adamo titles, but pretty insane resume there. 85 cashes, almost 10 million in GG earnings alone. And any of the guys there today, I don't think we are seeing anyone at the final table today, if I'm not mistaken, that is on this list. But we will have the season list. Again, everyone at home, I know we keep talking about it. We're going to get you involved. We're going to have some pretty massive giveaways for you. So you're going to want to stay tuned. There's the current leader of the first part of this 2025 season. There will be season 1 and 2 of 2025. And there is where it stands in terms of earnings, 1.8 million. B Binder taking that big one down as he is in the lead, and some other big names there on this leaderboard. Adrian Mateos there shoots up into the title. And you can see Vladimir Minko actually has two final tables, and so does Barack. But in terms of titles, prize money, there was that big special edition. That's why you see some of those players with no titles and 7-figure in scores. But all right, let's go ahead and look at the prize pool for today. I think we have over 300 again. There it is, 310 to first, 242 for second, all the way down 42,000 guaranteed for our 9th place finisher. Do want to welcome everyone in. Let us know where you are watching from. If you are just joining us, I know Triton just had a big final table close up, and we welcome you into the live, from the live streets to the online. Benjamin Rolle here. We'll talk about him today. He has been a 5-time guest on the show, and he is our chip leader. We'll get to preview him in a little bit, and again, we will have giveaways for you. Want to welcome you to hit that subscribe and thumbs up. That'll be the first part of the giveaway. We'll have a $50 and $100 ticket for you. But here's the payouts. Anything jump out for you here? Kind of flat structure all the way up there. No deal making available here.
Yeah, I think just normal payouts. It's cool that I got 143 entrants. That's solid, especially considering Brighton's going on right now. Actually, a lot of those guys are just animals, and they continue to fire the GGMillions even when they're at a Triton stop and final table it sometimes. But yeah, it seems like a pretty good turnout in normal payout structure.
Yeah, very, very, very strong payouts. Another really good showing for the event. Every kind of week we see this. Anytime it's 300 plus to first, pretty nice. We are going to go and then dive in here, take a look at who we have at this final table. And AD, I like to call him. This name is a hard name to tackle. Any bit of information you have with him? Have you played live or online with this particular fellow? Tough name to pronounce. I'll let you take a crack at it. You got the European roots.
Yeah, Armenian names, being Armenian myself, are hard. So I'll say Derzhevpilsky, something like that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great player. He's like FTs these all the time, right? I think last year he had like 4 FTs out of 5 weeks, something like that. Yeah, played some with him, and yeah, just overall great player.
Yeah, you can see 16 final tables. I mean, that is absurd, just to put that in perspective. Duke O'Haven and Benjamin Rolle also 16 and 19, but just so much experience. Does have 1 win. He is short today, and he has got 12 big blinds. Tell me about 12 blinds in these GGMillion events. 12 bigs, you can kind of get it moving, but it is tough in the shortest stack. Obviously, the seats selection process, you're the first to pick and don't really have much to do there, right? You kind of just pick your seat and people kind of go around you. But any strategy as a short stack final table that you look at, or does it really depend on how the other players are playing in the seat you have?
Yeah, stack distribution will be the first thing, but as you know, it's just where their cards fall, and then he could just end up winning the thing. He could get fifth after a few collisions, and anything can happen. But of course, just gonna have the lowest risk premium on his head.
Yeah, no, that's something we talk about. I know that word is music to Ben CB's ear. First time I ever heard that was in his Raise Your Edge course, risk premium. Exactly. Doesn't have a lot. If he goes out, gets it in, not a big deal. Whereas if you're in 3rd or 4th right now and you go out in a coin flip, it's a pretty big no, right? You don't want to be getting your chips in the middle with a marginal spot. Even 60-40 wouldn't be ideal. So we are going to go and look at our next player. Again, AD definitely capable to get it cooking. This is a player I don't have as much information on or know. As you can see, no final table, so we wouldn't have seen him here. Does this name ring a bell? Have you played with him before live maybe? Does any idea who that is or no?
No. Maybe we'll see more in the future. I probably have played a little bit with them online, but yeah, it doesn't ring any bells off the top of my head.
Yeah, it seems like his sort of newer to the scene, at least from his live. Hennen Mob has about 60K in live earnings there. Again, a tough flag though, that part of the world, Austria, Germany, sort of this contingent, definitely up and coming, great players. And again, someone you got to respect. 30 blinds. This is a pretty crazy to be in 8th and have 30 BBs. This final table distribution is abnormal. This is right away looking to have someone the second shortest stack 30 blinds is kind of crazy. I mean, that's a lot of chips. That could be good for 5th or 4th or 6th sometimes at a final table. So he is an 8th with 30 bigs. Going to be a little bit tight today across the board here. I think it is wide open for anyone to take. So that'll be something to pay attention to. All right, let's go to our number 7 place player, Vlad Derry, someone we know, 4 final tables, has a win, 36 appearances, pretty good ROI here, right? Done well. Got also a good showing live here for 4th place in the 5K in the Bahamas just recently. How about Vlad? How much have you played with Vlad?
Yeah, I actually played with him recently at the Bahamas in the 10K. He's a character. He really likes to have fun at the table, and plays an interesting style. Definitely very aggressive, sort of unorthodox style. And yeah, it looks like if he's cashing 19% of the time, I think this tournament's only 10% cash. So
Yep.
that's seems pretty good.
Mm. Yeah, he also, younger guy. It seems super fun. I think I played with him a few times. Don't know very well. Has about 3 million in lifetime live earnings. So pretty impressive with 224 being his biggest live cash, 224,000. So pretty consistent. Gets to there deep. Has played a lot live and online, and we'll get to see him have a healthy-ish short stack. 33 blinds, not really short, but in 7th place. Let's go to our next player. Golden Seagull is the name of this particular player. Highest finish 6, does have a final table, so that would be that. Has played this a few times. 33 big blinds. Any info on him? Any idea who that is, or have you played with him live?
I think this is going to be our wild card player. I think we might see some interesting plays. That'd be my only guess.
Yeah, don't think this is one of those ones where this is. I mean, just look all around. What's going on here? He's got all kinds of stuff happening. This is going to be our official mystery player. We'll see. He could go either which way. 33 blinds, plenty of chips, going for his first win on the GGMillions today. We'll see how that pans out for him. And crazy avatar, crazy name, crazy everything. Also rocking the Austrian flag. All right, we got to go to number 5. The man is a very tough player. Someone we've been seeing more of recently. Does not have a win. 10 final tables, 8 million in GG earnings, and 1.5 of those coming in this very tournament. 2nd place before recently, I believe. And he also is very well respected in the community of his ability. Tell me about this player, Catch Chew. Have you played a lot with him?
Yeah, definitely a lot online. Probably works very hard, I think, and just, one of those online crushers. Don't think I've played live with him, but I've, been around playing Tritons and seen him around. Seems like an all right fellow.
Yeah, his taking down the 1100 EPT Prague for over 550K. Also did take in March of 24, about a year ago, just took down the high roller for 2nd place. I should say take down a 7-figure score. I'll count that as a takedown for 1 million in a 7-figure deal there. So again, in good form, hitting good stride, plays live, capable of winning. Definitely someone you got to look as a real possibility to get it done today at 40 big blinds in 5th place. So all right, fourth place today, Duco Haven. This man, 4 wins. He's on that leaderboard on the respect. Gotta give it to him. Netherlands all-time money list number 40, and you can see here he's got 13 million GG earnings. How much have you played with Duco?
A lot online. Same. Pretty much everyone here. It's like either a medium amount or a lot with online and very little live because they play different schedules. But I did play the 10K in Barcelona with him fairly recently, and he had the headphones in. He was focused. He was getting in the mix. Great player.
Yeah, a lot of results. He plays 50Ks live. I see here good score in February of last year for 345. Also, maybe more online than live, but he does have about 1 million in earnings live. So capable on and off the felt guy that gets in the mix, and we can see where he did take 2nd place in a online bracelet. And again, we see him here a lot. 4 wins, 16 final tables. Someone you gotta believe is one of the favorites here with the most titles. He actually has as much titles as the remaining players combined at this final table. So Ben CB has 1, Pedro Neves has 1, Vlad Dari has 1, and AD has 1, and then 4 for Duco. So again, gotta believe there's something about closing, feeling comfortable in the format, the structure, and just knows how to get it done. So again, one of the favorites I would say today, although he is sort of middle of the pack in 4th place. Let's go ahead and look at our top 3. Casimir Sear, who is someone I am not quite as familiar with, and I think I was looking at his stuff live. I believe he is about 600K in earnings. So have you played with him or no? I don't recognize this name myself.
Yeah, he's young. I looked him up recently. I think he's 23 and from Finland.
Yep.
So up and comer, someone to look out for. Played a lot with him online because I just looked to see his old usernames. And yeah, he had a result recently in it playing in a 25K live. So it's pretty cool that you could just be that age and be playing huge stakes,
Yeah, no, it is cool. And I mean, Adamar Ladva, someone else we know well from Estonia, who they played at the Bombay new casino. Shout out to those guys there doing a really cool thing in Estonia. And he did play and got, you're right, third in that for 188K. Lost to Adamar there in that thing. Yoni Yokoman was there as well, and some other big names. So he's playing good form and fresh off of again, live young guy and on GG 7.5 million in earnings. Hasn't played much in this format. You can see only 23K in earnings there. So one cash, Furman's one cash, and only 3 appearances though. Welcome to the final table today. He's got himself 53 big blinds, and we'll get to see a hand from Sunday. Let's take a look at that, where we see him at this level, the 12.5, 25K level. So a little bit earlier in the tournament, ace-6 off in the big blind. I like these hands where it's not aces, ace-king. This is a tough hand to play out of the big blind. Usually, you're facing a raise, and you can either maybe get aggressive and or go post flop and sort of navigate around, but it's not easy, not an easy hand to play. Let's see how he does this in the big blind here. See some more people join us right now, about 500 on for the pregame show. Welcome in. Get the tweet out for you guys here any moments. And I will also, where we'll have a $50 giveaway cash, and then we're going to have two giveaways for $50 and $100 GG ticket later in there. And please let us know where you're watching from. And we are going to see an open here from I Am Businessman. Familiar face, a lot of familiar faces. This is not a soft tournament. I gotta say, there's not a lot of people just giving it away in here. That's the thing. You can satellite in, yes, but it's not an easy one to get done. No doubt about it. And that is, what's that, Adamo? Was that Michael Adamo there? I can't see the name. Michael, maybe not. I don't think that is. It's Canada flag. Canada flag.
Mr. Anderson. But flatting off of 4.5 bigs. It's interesting from the small blind. Probably not. I mean, a 0% play probably can get some, call some 10-9 suiteds in there and stuff.
Well, look, I do like this. Casimir decides to shoot up the ace-6 off. I mean, that's, again, instead of calling, right? I think calling's the weakest play in these spots. It's just kind of like you're just praying for like a miracle flop, and it's really tricky. You get bluffed a lot, or you hit the ace and you don't even know where you're at. You could make some better hands fold, take the initiative, and he is going to do that, making it 175 here. How often are you doing that versus fold in this scenario? Also interesting with that short stack calling in the small. Definitely a little bit odd.
Yeah, it's an interesting math problem. It might just work out to be the best play every single time. Like, you might supposed to be doing this because small blind's literally never going to have a trap, and you just know that you're ahead, and he's going to call it off. I mean, he's never going to have a call fold, I don't think, at least when the low jack folds. So he's just pushing equity and taking his dead money, and I think it's fairly reasonable, but I don't think call is like a bad option. If squeezing is making more money, it's likely just making a tiny bit more money.
Excuse me.
And now he does stick it in, and that's looking like a pretty good board for the small blind, and I mean, this is about as good as you can hope for, right? If you squeeze the ace-6 in the spot, so let's see what he does.
Yeah, I Am Businessman flatting here. I mean, this is definitely, if you ace-6 off, this is like kind of the dream flop. You go from sort of, experimenting and going, trying to maybe get a fold pre from I Am Businessman into kind of committed with this now, with open-ended on the rainbow board. And nines, pretty great flop for nines. Not the hand you want to see if you are our friend there. And let's see, does he get it done? He does. Pretty nasty, the 9 as well, not the 4. Gets the 9. Queen 3 suited. Okay, had a turn flush draw. Can't really blame him being really short suited queen. Got in there and decided to put it in. So, all right, Casimir willing to go for it. That's for sure. Willing to mix it up. Takes the play there, and he does get rewarded 1.7 big pot. I Am Businessman a bit unlucky there, as we see our third place participant this week. Let's go to our next player. Let's see the second place stack. And Pedro Neves, this man is around. I feel like he's always kind of around. He does actually only 3 final tables. It must be memorable how he's played, because this name sounds very familiar to me, and I just feel like he plays very well. Tell me about him. Have you played live with Pedro?
Yeah, I played that. he is quite young and I think very good for his age. So, just another up and comer. We got a bunch of guys who are, potentially just going to be really good players. Not that they aren't already in the next 5-10 years. Just doing really well on the scene. So it'll be exciting to see him play today.
Yeah, he's got a World Series bracelet in his hand on his head and mob. 3.6 million in earnings. Looks like a young lad there. He's got some great scores on his resume, over 1 million for that WSOP June 24. Get the monster stack bracelet. So really, nice to check that off your list early. 7-figure score bracelet, all the good stuff. He is in second today. Let's take a look at a hand from Sunday for his second place stack currently with 771. This is 816, also a little bit earlier. Nice 40% of a royal flush. A lot of tough players there. Simon Matson, Benjamin Rolle, some other familiar faces. I Am Businessman earlier in the tournament. I think, what did we just see? No, we just watched a hand with him at the, what was it? The 12K, 12.5, 25. So this is actually a little bit before. This is one of his hands, and he will raise the ace 10 suited. Is there any merit at this to go 2.2 or bigger in these spots, or is it pretty much just all min raising at this stage? Is that the normal?
Yeah, I think there's not really any reason to with the blinds having those stacks. If you're raise folding, you just simply don't want to risk more. And tough table indeed. But I mean, he won one of the best bracelets probably that you can, because you won it in a 1,500 millionaire maker where he likely just had, most or all of his action, and you just win 700 buy-ins or something crazy, So really exciting to have that score that early. He goes quarter, and these low paired boards going to be aggressive from out of position. Could also be going big on the flop. Size is trap now.
Yeah, nice paired board, nut flush. Checks it over. Does get a bite. And is going to proceed, obviously. Let's see what he wants to do here. Does it make sense? What are you considering when you're check raising or just calling there? I mean, when you have the nut flush on this paired board out of position.
Yeah, it's interesting because poker is a game of mixes. So if he's truly trying to play really well, probably want to do a little bit of everything: betting turn, check calling turn, check raising turn. It might be a read that he has on this specific player that led him to that decision more often. And now, of course, you can't raise, and just got the absolute max out of the guy. So very well played there.
Yeah, I like it. Like the line. Board got a little scary, but at the same time, not too many threes or fours there. And what is it? What would you would never consider raising there? I guess you're just hard to really get called by worse. You could have like the king, queen, jack of hearts, but other than that, there's you block the 10. I don't know. I guess just gonna be just calling. Maybe on some rivers though, right? Non-double paired, gonna maybe go for the all of it river.
I think he's his hand is good more often than not, but it's just a matter of getting paid right at that point. Because if his opponent did have the king, queen of hearts, he then has to find the call to the check raise. So yeah, it's just going to be too thin, and you're just gonna run into better when you do raise too often.
For sure. All right, well, there's a look at Pedro's game. We just went over his ability. Now let's go to the man of the hour, the guy who has put his time here on the GG Millions, also been on my podcast a few times, has the Raise Your Edge course, of course, and he has only one win somehow out of 19 final tables. He seems to have a lot of chips so often, co-founder of Raise Your Edge. I believe he's actually just the founder, but he's got a great team. And you can see double final table, double chip leader, doing a lot of things, 68 blinds, having a streams as well. Can follow Ben on all the socials as well as Raise Your Edge. But let's go ahead and look at a hand. His almost 100th appearance. Pretty impressive stuff, trying to get another win. This is early stages, Queen Jack offsuit for Ben. He's going to go ahead and play. We know that. It's a highlight hand. It's Queen Jack offsuit folded too. What's that? 7-handed. And going to be opening. So there is Ben CB, how much have you played with Ben? Probably a lot online.
A lot online, 0 live.
Yeah.
Great teacher, great instructor. I bought one of those early Raise Your Edge courses. And it was quite helpful. Definitely, he has a ton of love for the game, doesn't he? Playing the $11 Sunday Storm as he's playing the 10Ks and the 25Ks. He's a different kind of animal.
Yeah, one of those guys where playing a lot of tables at once is able to do it successfully and sort of figures out a way to make that work. And here he goes with the queen jack off, pretty standard on the 9-7 deuce to continue. He's got the red cards going there, can do some bluffing. Also has the queen or the jack, a lot of good turns, harder at 10 as he does go ahead and hit the queen and bet. And there's Vlad, who I guess this is super early. Maybe we'll see Vlad exit here and rebuy, right? There is re-entries available. This is early stages. Let's see, does call 3 on the river. Pretty good board for queen jack.
Yeah, I guess we know where one of Vlad's 4 bullets went because he's unfortunately in for 4, but at least breaking even with that 40K locked up.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and
yeah, just dream spot. I mean, you kind of have the nuts here. Really hard to be beat.
This is the highlight hand from Sunday. This is not the, so yeah, this is like this was probably very early stages, right?
Oh,
Okay, yeah, no, I thought you said 40K. Yeah, got it. So this is again rebuying.
Yeah,
he can re-enter. Can't blame him there at the 10-7 does call, and that is going to be a re-entry, which Vlad did well and did that, and then we see him at the final table. So that is a look at Ben. Nice hand, pretty straightforward. Takes it down early stages from the tournament. We're going to go ahead and take a look now at the final 9 and what their betting odds are for the in-client. If you are in a jurisdiction where you can play GGPoker, you can log in, you can actually wager on this and put some money down and have a good sweat. I actually AD at 27-1 with this distribution. That looks like a kind of fun sweat, right? Like if he gets going, it's not too crazy where all the stacks are. But as it stands, Ben is the overall favorite, 4.76 to 1, and a variety of other pricing there. A little bit tight today. So go ahead, I'll let you start. We'll put a dinner if you're up for that. Wager on that. You get 100 units, I get 100 units, 3 picks, me 3 picks. And I'll let you do it. If the one of the 3 win that we don't pick, it's a wash for us. But go ahead, I'll let you pick first. And out of your 100 units, who do you pick and how much?
Sweet. Wait, 100 units. I guess I don't quite understand that part. I'm picking
So
Ben.
basically, you have 100. You could bet. It doesn't really matter. We're just kind of for fun. I imagine you have $100, but it's all you really need to do is pick a winner. You get 3 picks, and you can break up your 100 into 3, like 50, 30, 20, or 80, 10, 10 on what you would bet, right? On these guys, yeah.
I'll just go 50 on Ben.
50 on Ben. All right, you're gonna take my guy. I like that. That's my man, my homie. That's a smart pick. He's in the lead. He's the favorite. I'll go Pedro. He's in good form. He's young. He's hungry. I'll take 50 on him. Keep it simple. I'm going chalk too. I'll take Pedro.
All right. And then 20 on Casimir.
20 on Casimir. This guy's capable, willing, and able. All right, Duco. I got to go for experience, man. I'm gonna go 30 on Duco. Actually, I'll go 25 Duco for yeah, he's got 4 titles. He's in position today. Looks good. Who's your last pick?
Oh man, I'm gonna go unorthodox here. I'm putting 30 on AD. I don't care. We're pulling out for the shorty. I'm that strong.
Wow. I'm gonna go my last 25 on the wild card with the man. Like, his name's Golden Seagull. He's got the Austria flag. I just don't see how he can't be the wild card. You gotta respect it. No one really knows much about him, and with a name like Golden Seagull, I think good things can happen. I'm gonna take him for my last pick. Give a little bit of a flyer there as well. Those are our 3 picks. At home, you gotta know, if you hit the thumbs up, if you're subscribed, you're already halfway home on the giveaway. I am going to be selecting a 50 and 100 throughout, and also on Jeff Bros Poker Twitter, 50 cash on my own pocket. That's just from me to you with love. Every week, I will put that out here on the break. We're going to be going to a short break where we will then do the seat draw. When we get back, we'll have a look at the players that will go from the shortest stack up to the biggest in the seed order, kind of fun little position jockeying for that. We'll talk about strategy with Aram on that. And we will be, again, queuing up the Twitter giveaway. And we're going to have ourselves an amazing afternoon or night. Depends where you are. I guess we're international out here. This is the Champions League of Poker. We got ourselves a stack final table, big prizes, big names, the big guest, of course, as always, here on the show. Can't wait to be back. Don't go anywhere. 5-minute break. We will play to a winner. We'll see you then. All right, welcome back after that pregame show. We are here with Aram Zoblan, Jeff Gross. We're going to call it to the end. We got no deal making. We got a massive show. Again, going to be so much fun. We're going to dive right in. We're going to take a look at who sits where. That's the only thing really yet to be determined before we'll play for a winner. And going to ask Aram for a bit of strategy on that. Anything to do? I always like to see if there's any kind of thing I'm ever missing or not thinking about. Is there much strategy as a shortest, or are you just kind of at the mercy? I guess the button is set. You could try to play around with where to go, but anything else really to do other than just select and hope for the best on the seat draw?
Yeah, just pray, I guess. I don't know. I might end up choosing like one to the left. That's my intuitive guess. Don't know if it's right. Somewhere in the middle, like, and not get greedy, so to speak. Um, it looks like he's in a pretty bad position to start, though. It's not good for my $30 guy here, I guess.
Yeah, there's still some drawing. People are moving around. Ben, again, usually you want to go to the left. That's just sort of standard. The biggest stack goes to the left of the other, but not always the case. How things shake out. Maybe you want to be across, or even, giving respect to some other players that have a lot of chips. Today's a kind of interesting final table with the stack distribution. You see Ben is 68, second 61, but it's tight, like 30 up to 68. It's not really anyone super short other than the 12 blind stack. So we'll see how it plays out here as Ben's going to get his last pick, and we'll wonder if he does go to the. So he actually is. Let's see. He's thinking, and he will go take Pedro. So he doesn't go to the left of Pedro. He takes the button, kind of takes the left of a couple. Maybe Golden. Maybe I could mention a little bit of the more inexperienced player, and Katz Chu has a decent stack on his direct left. So I don't know. That would have been, I would say, not a exact what I expected. At the same time, Duco, 1.8, 2.4. It's kind of tight. And everyone having fun, everyone giving their thumbs up. A lot of Greg goes all in. Shout outs there as everyone is having a good time. And we'll see how this breaks out today. Very early on in the tournament, a lot can happen. And we have an early Pedro open with fives, and Ben 8-9 suited on the button is going to come in play. So two of the big stacks going to tango right away.
Yeah, it's a nice hand to play in position for Ben, of course. Not going to be shy. Going to fly a lot wider than that, really.
Yeah, 8-9 suited, no backdoor club draw. Doesn't want to get cute and start defending fives. Gets a decent flop. He bets and takes it down. So first blood, Pedro, small pot. Actually tied him and Ben literally within 30K of each other for the opener. All right, I got to get this tweet out. We do have the Instagram out. You can give Aram a follow on Instagram as well. He does not use Twitter, but you can see his name right? Aram _Zoblan for Instagram. And just before we dive into the nitty gritty and all the stuff here, but I'm going to ask you about this a couple of times. I know you do coaching. Do you do individual, or is it also, do you do a program besides individually or groups? What's your main coaching that you're working on and help people with?
Yeah, just do private one-on-one lessons. I do sort of variable rates. So if you're more of a beginner player, I don't, try to charge you like the same if I'm coaching someone who plays mid or high stake. So it's all variable. And I'll get back to that in a moment. We have an interesting flat here. That looks like a hand that probably could have shoved, but taking the conservative route pre-flop seems pretty reasonable. Hijack's raising into like a 12, 13 big blind stack, so expect him to be reasonably tight. And King Queen's just going to dominate a ton of hands. Obviously, you're just going to fold up this Queen Jack suited. And he comes with call on the flop. Another passive decision, could probably raise a little bit, but calls, of course, can be fine. And yeah, hand seems pretty normal so far. Now he has an interesting decision. Just check and bluff catch, which is probably the hard option to do, considering your hand is worth kind of a lot at this point. So expect him to big bet a lot, perhaps block some, and then check once in a while.
Can you talk to me about randomizing a little bit, where this is something I find interesting, because as you mentioned too earlier, that there's so much different ways of playing. There's also, most hands have different paths, right? You can do different things, like you just said, bet small or check or do different things. How do you feel about randomizing, and how do you incorporate that in your game if you do? Like what, even like I'm looking at
Yes,
a clock, whether you're bluffing or not. Like how do you feel about that? Like this type of randomizing?
right. Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on it. It's oh wow, he goes for it. And this is probably, I mean, I'm just guessing this is going to be hard to get through because he's repping extremely thin. I think he's just saying he has ace king or aces at this point. Um, but yeah, randomizing, it's a really interesting idea. Some players will say it's a cop out, saying that, if you're studying really hard, you should probably know which option is the best in most spots. But if you want to be playing in a way that's hard to predict, it can be nice to mix in some sizes like,
Wow.
oh wow, and he gets
The
it
wild
through.
card, Golden
Yeah,
Seal is
called it.
off and running, man. Just makes it. Yeah. Whereas, so that's so interesting there too, because if he doesn't bet, he probably would check call, or maybe even Golden doesn't go for the bet, right? He might just give up there. And it's just interesting that I find the block is tricky, right? If you're doing it with the block and you're not for value, I think I do see it seems to open the door to get bluffed there. That's a little bit of a strange line there, but in his head, he just thinks without a 10 or without a better hand. That seems like a thin representation there, right? He's basically saying I have a 10.
Yeah, the reason I'm so surprised he folded there is, I mean, it's a difficult spot. Don't get me wrong. You have a bluff catcher, but if Golden Seagull has a 10, he's pretty much always just going to keep putting money in the pot.
Yeah.
You're going to most likely be unblocking a king. The exception is if you have a full house, right? So he just never has like 10-9 suited or 10-8 suited or ace 10 there. I think he always just keeps betting. And maybe some redemption here, getting some chips back, flop and top set. But yeah, I honestly love teaching people, just to finish that answer on the coaching question. Um, it's really rewarding seeing some guys like coaching a guy in Taiwan right now, and he's had a lot of results recently in some of the APT and the Asian scenes, and coaching a guy in America that plays the like mid stakes Bovada and stuff, and he won like a $55 tournament back to back for like 5K scores each time. So just helping people improve is super rewarding to me, and also just love talking about mindset and helping people work through maybe constructing better habits in their lives, and how can we start our mornings better, how can we improve our self-talk to have a better um, mental game while playing, and also just a better quality of life. Nice three bet there with the ace nine.
Yeah, so much goes into it. It really is amazing, the mental side of poker, sports, just anything. That's one thing that, in general, and I do what I look for with whatever industry or whatever someone's doing, just at a high level. It's just amazing how, the nuances are. There's such a small margin of a lot. Like, again, you take this final table, most players here play great, right? So it's like, what can you do to separate yourself? What can you do mentally? What can you deal with? Because a lot of times I think it sort of snowballs, right? It can be not just at the game or something before, how you're dealing with your daily life, that can sort of affect how you go into a situation, and be able to separate, a bad outcome or unlucky hand or result, even when it finishes, and move on, because that can sort of affect your future things in a way you might not notice. So I think that is something that the greats, and whatever they're doing, are able to sort of mentally dial in and really hone their craft. And we see a pretty big cooler here, Golden Seagull, who is probably a player that's going to get some a bit of a wild card, right? This is one of those spots where, in a wild card, if you're not sure, and ace queen is sort of that cuspy hand where it's like, you don't love it when you get played back on. Duco is certainly capable of making big folds, right? Ace queen, if he does, it is under the gun too, right? So it's under the gun. He's 3-betting. If he does get played back at, I think that's going to be a sign where he may get out of the way. But this is not fun, where you take this hand that's close to flat or 3-bet, you 3-bet, and now you get asked to make a big fold from a player that we don't know much about. And we did just see him make a big bluff, right? So we know he's capable and may have those notes for Duco in his Rolodex. So this could get a little saucy, a little spicy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a guy who's just perhaps live to have, if not the ace-4 suited right now, something like ace-8 offsuit. We just saw him make this kind of unconventional and risky bluff in a spot where his opponent is somewhat uncapped. I mean, that hand wasn't shown down, but if it was, in your Duco, you might be thinking to yourself, maybe this guy is just, he's coming in guns blazing and trying to really run up his stack and win this thing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the jam here.
Yeah, and Duco Haven is, again, capable. He goes for wins, plays big poker, big pots. He also is not afraid, but also this is a hand I think generally he may just want a 3-bet fold if he's going to attack onto the gun. But here, again, with the wild card, I think that he's more so inclined to make a slight mistake. But hey, worst case, right? If he did put it in there, not like he's dead. He still have some decent equity. He does get away from it, and he looked pained to do so, but he did get out of the way there. So a nice release, and Golden Seagull having himself an afternoon so far, right up the ladder as in third place or fourth, I guess, right? He was in fourth and started in, I think, sixth, but again, had 33 big blinds and now has more, although the big blind is 40K. Yeah, so he's up. He's doing well. He's chipped up nicely to start.
Yeah, interesting one. And he took almost a minute to fold there, so it's probably really close to clicking that all-in button.
And did Vlad? Wow, Vlad just like clicked it over here. This is an interesting hand. I guess AD super short, yeah. And good fold.
Yeah, this has been been kind of a funny trend in the last year or two, is just seeing the open off 10 big blinds and the 3-bet fold off to 3.5 big blinds. And we're seeing the size that Vlad is just allowing himself to have bluffs and be able to 3-bet fold a hand, perhaps like ace-5 offsuit.
Yeah, ace king to tens AD from the back of the pack. This is what we talked about. If he can get cooking here, he is going to be a threat, as he does find a double ace king versus tens. Didn't have to wait long. Ace king both on the flop. Vlad now 830 and he is at 870. So this is going to, again, dictate a bit of how the final table will go. We see early on short stacks doubling, as this is super tight. I mean, you see anywhere 2.5 all the way down to the short stack being over 20 big blinds now. So really, really wide open final table today. Going to see anyone available for the win. This is too close to call. No runaway stacks.
Indeed. It'll be a hard fought battle. There's AD getting that first double. See what happens.
That's you took, right? You took a long shot there?
I took a long one. Why not? Let's have some fun.
Shit. This is big
from Pedro. I would expect that hand to just be in there. Not like, I think it's going to be winning very little, but you're the chip leader, covering, both the button and the big blind by a pretty large margin. Ben and Casimir, who you're closer with, are in less than optimal positions, so to speak. And Ben's getting in there with the nut low. Playing fast too. I don't know if you noticed that. He's snap calling the 9-8 seated, snap limp, snap check. So came to play.
Yeah, there's definitely variance in that too. Sometimes shows are longer or not. You can see the time bank clock has been an adjustment. It used to be 15 minutes flat, the chess clock, and now there's a formula based on various items that did highlight at the start of the final table to show you that. But you can see the chess clock is no one really over 10 minutes. We see AD with 10:40, and that is also something depending on how much time players use in between hands and decisions can add a lot of time to the final table, right? There's a good bit of time within the clock or not, but players do seem to be playing fast overall. And what are your thoughts about live clocks and at Poker Go and in general when you play? What do you think about how that has affected the gameplay in general?
Yeah, I love the shot clock, not only for the reason that it just makes it tougher to play in general, and just a more competitive environment. But there's nothing I like less about live poker than someone taking 4 minutes to fold a river with no real pressure. You
Yeah.
just day one, you're playing a 1600 at the win, and someone's taking super long. So yeah, the chess clocks here and the shot clocks live are great. And Ben throwing in some mind games here. The emoji mid hand.
Yeah,
See if he
the
finds the
worst.
pay. And yeah, poker's such a crazy game. I just wanted to comment on what you were saying earlier about if you can find even a little bit of edge and mentally it makes such a big difference. I mean, there's reason that so many top performers, poker players included, go to a guy like Elliot Rowe and wow, he makes the somewhat big fold and Ben's showing the three, having some fun. I guess he just gives him a ton of value in that spot, and maybe the timing stuff in that hand, or he thinks he has a lot of ace highs when he gets there. But yeah, like so interesting that it makes such a big difference, just your mindset and all these spots. And here it could be a pretty good clash because we're gonna see a squeeze. Oh, goes with call. Very interesting.
Big hands. Ace, king, king, queen suited, jacks in the
Yeah.
lead.
Are you surprised to see a call there?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. A little bit surprised. Not crazy, but I think it's not normal. And we are, yeah, multi-way here. Three big stacks here with 345 in the middle. No, not too interesting of a board for these hands.
Yeah, definitely not a critique. I just thought you would want to be putting that into a value through bet. And yeah, I got to be feeling pretty damn good if you have jacks in the spot at this point.
Yep. Block that jack 10 as well. Kind of nice. You can do a few things. Protect also. Just want to be, imagine you just want to, yeah, good size bet there, half pot. Yeah, I mean, this might just be speaking specifically to that risk premium thing we talked about. And as I said, I first heard of, and when I did the Razor Edge course many years ago, I think also too for Ben, it's like in this particular spot, it's like it would not be a great scenario to get it in versus queens or jacks or, try to play a huge pot there. So I think he just is happy with his seat, happy with the table, and also looking to take a little less variance line. But I am still surprised, but I think that it's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, he just avoided, barring the six outer on the river, assuming that Casimir back shoves, playing a ginormous spot or even just squeezing, and Casimir's going to back call, and we're going to see some more chips going in. So Ben's locked in. I mean, he got the deuce three bluff through, and he flatted the ace king overcall spot that could easily just squeeze and saved a bunch of chips. Tens are hot.
Tens are out. Tens are making top set. It's not even just set, it's top set too. Yeah.
Yeah, not much going. I guess that is a fairly good turn for the big blinds. I'd be concerned that the cards we have are blocking some of the cards we want to be folding by the river, on the turn and the river. And in position is also going to have a bunch of ace highs with a single diamond, going to have some flush draws. gonna have maybe some wheel hands that are interacting. So don't think it's a great bluff candidate, but wouldn't be too surprised if Pedro started with a block, something on the turn.
Golden Seagull over 2 million. This man is on a mission. The tweet is out. I got to get that up. I'll put the link out for you guys. Jeff Gross Poker, $50 cash. That's on me, as I said. And then, of course, we have the 1,500 GG tickets going to be later in the show. Must be subscribed and hit the thumbs up. 83 already of you doing that out of 1,145 on. What a start to the show today. Hope you guys enjoyed the Triton. I know that was a Sean Winter versus Makita heads up. Sean Winter did come back and got it done. Great player. He said he hadn't won in a few years. It's amazing how hard it is to win, right? Like poker tournaments are so crazy. I was just seeing, I know you just got a second, a fifth, and it's like you compete and you even look at these stats. Ben CB, right? He's played 97 of these, one win, right? 19 final tables, but to actually win, it's so hard, right? You got to run well, you got to play well. And even here, like there's 9 left, man. These guys are crushers. They're all doing their best. They're all trying hard, big money on the line. And to actually win, it's just so amazing. Like to see a guy like Artur Mortarizian, he's won like 11 times this specific tournament. Like it's really crazy to see. Of course, you put the reps in and play more, you have a better chance. But you know, it's just yeah, like you said, the mental side of it. You're basically losing for a living if you play tournaments, right? It's always because like to actually get the win, they're so far few in between. And Ben does step into bad timing there with ace 4 suited. Doesn't parlay his path of a bad spot. He gets out of the way and down to 2.3, but still can't blame him for that. And Casimir with good timing there. But yeah, really hard to win. Just hard to actually get W's. I think, like I said, Sean Winter, I watched a bit of his interview kind of right before the show. He said he literally was the longest streak of his life without winning a live tournament. Like he got seconds and thirds, but sort of starts getting mental where you start wondering, you know, is it me? Am I playing bad? And there's something that creeps in your mind there, I think. And that's true in sports, especially like a tennis, paddle, very popular now. These type of sports where like, you know, you're playing and it's golf, right? To actually win. It's just amazing the guys that can really find their rhythm and their heat and do it for a stretch. Because it is, I think, a majority mental is so many of these sports and poker as well.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. I didn't know Sean won. Good for him. And nice fold by Ben there. It might not seem like a big deal, but those hands are definitely going to get in there sometimes into the 3-bet, 5-bet up range. So he comes with snap fold there, and again, nice timing to just not step into it and further his aggression. Yeah, man, it's so hard. You can just be literally the best player in the field and just go super cold. Go a ton of tournaments without cashing.
Yeah.
Bit of a tight fold there by ace jack. That's a tricky spot. Not sure what I would do there, to be honest. I can see every option being kind of nice.
All right, just put the link in there. That's the link for $50 cash. Guess who wins. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Just guess. That'll be eligible and hit the retweet. 1,200 now watching. Appreciate you guys. Let us know where you're watching from. Hope you enjoyed the pregame show. We did go through the list of the 9 players, and Aram has played with many of them. I'm familiar with many of them. We got Golden Seagull, our wild card, chipped up from 6th up to 2 million now. He is in the conversation. Top 4 healthy, but really wide open. No one short right now. This is a pretty unique final table where there's no 5, 7, 10 blinds, and even our 12 blind stack doubled. AD now in the mix here with ace 8. Both players working with ace 8, and ace 8 thinking about, you know, it just illustrates having the lead, how valuable it is. And that is interesting card that will probably result in a chop. Don't see how you're getting SPR of 1. There's no way, you know, board's paired. Yes, you do lose to a few hands, but you called, hit your card. This is just going to showdown as straight, almost for sure. Don't see another scenario here, obviously. Both making their hand.
Yeah, it's probably going to go shove call. It's been more interesting seeing the deuce roll off and seeing if Casimir goes for it or not. So fairly aggressive turn bet considering you're just targeting the ace jack through ace king and you have an ace. So that's something that points to Casimir just being a really aggressive, good player, is he's not, overly worried of, oh, I have an ace in my hand blocking the cards I want him to fold, so I'm gonna check this one. So yeah, good and normal hand there.
Yeah, a couple of kings, not much going to be competing with it here, as the open and Duco already down a little bit. Duco Haven started a bit more chips. He's down to 1.3, but again, everyone 20 bigs plus, AD exactly 20 bigs. What do you find more exciting as a final table, when there's a disparity, like huge stack and couple shorties, or do you kind of find it more fun when it's like almost like a shootout where everyone's sort of live in the same kind of chips? What do you think is more interesting when you're a player at those tables?
Yeah, I'm kind of a sucker for seeing the big stack run away with it. It's just having that dominant position. It's obviously the most fun spot in poker. So I tune into these streams all the time, watching the GGMillions or the Poker Stars high stakes. And it's really fun to just see people run away with it. What about you? You like a good battle, or you like the
I do find, from an entertainment perspective and watching, I do think that it's more exciting when there's sort of you're playing cat and mouse and there's huge stacks and short stacks and like the pressure on the middle stacks. There's just a little more going on. I think it just plays less wildly, right? When it's like sort of like when it's tighter, because the ICM is so great and everyone's kind of like not really stepping out. You get in this sort of like a cash game when there's like Squid Game or some sort of sweetener, right? When you're in there and there's like an extra layer to think about at all times, it sort of promotes and brings more action. So, I think that, again, and things change though fast, right? Like in a final table, it can be like a minute or two or three hands where someone's like now the huge stack and there's a couple shorties. But right at the moment when it's pretty tight, I think it makes for a little bit less wild poker, if that makes sense. A little more straightforward poker when this sort of distribution is. So yeah, I'd prefer sort of a disparity.
Gotcha.
But this is definitely
nothing,
one of the more
nothing.
tightly knit FTs where I'd say it's a little unusual. That's what's fun though. It's like you really get to see it all. It's like I like that Forrest Gump metaphor, box of chocolates. Like you never know in a final table where it's always different. The seat selection, who's aggressive, who's tight, where the stacks go. You could literally take the same 9 final tablists and randomize stacks and seats, and it would be like super interestingly different all the time. I think that's why poker works. That's why it's fun. That's why it is such a puzzle all the time, and why it's just kind of always exciting to see, because who can figure it out, who can get it done with the given situation. Then there's that element of luck too. There's no guarantee. Even if you play perfectly and have a great strategy, you're still not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's interesting for sure. It might end up just being a really long show based on oh wow, there we go, coming in. Man, Pedro with a really aggressive 3-bet. I'm gonna imagine that's a little bit out there. 3-betting versus under the gun 9, and AD just sees right through it. Saw pocket 10s just hit the snap hold there. Not going to be a good hand. And speaking of 10s, wow, look at that.
Man, ace king, 10s and 10s, ace king suited. If he knew how good of shape before the flop he is, just really got a nice hand. But both players here are going to feel reasonable with their hand. Ben going to go ahead and start betting.
Yeah, it seems nice to clean up the equity. Tough spot for ace king. Definitely don't fault the folds. Don't know if either of your cards are good, and you might just end up turning a king when they have queen 10 suited or king jack suited. So you have a fair amount of reverse implied odds there. A lot of 10s so far. A lot of ace king suited.
Yeah. 10s is the hand of the day. Nicely done from Ben. Gets it done. Position. Such a thing. What we got to talk about, my man? We got to talk about Helmut in the main. Give me your thoughts on the 10K and the marathon type thing about the day break or shorter days or something to do to make it a little less a marathon. You've made the final 9. Was it November 9? No, it was way past November 9. That was just a normal. You had a day off or 2. How do they do it for your year? Was that 2019 or 18? I forget what year you made the final table.
Yeah, it was 18. Man, we had no day off.
Wow.
They threw us straight into the ringer.
Crazy.
I saw Tony Miles, the runner up finisher, and after he looked so exhausted. He was like, "Man, I can't believe they made us pay. We were at the same tax office, this and that." But actually, I was surprised to see, just to comment on that one quick. I thought Golden Seagull would probably gamble there with the 8s, but that's a fairly disciplined full, and seems really close. Probably put in 9s. But yeah, I guess I would probably fall into the category of the 20-something-year-olds. While I'm still 20, I guess I'll be 30 then. But I want the main to be 2-hour levels forever. I think that's the reason it's the best tournament ever. As soon as you turn it to 90-minute levels, well, you have Barcelona EPTs where you have 90-minute levels. So I think we need to keep it at 2 hours and let those who are able to find the greatness to overcome the lights and the attention and everything that goes with it and show up. You got guys like Jason Sable FTing the tournament last year, and he's not a young guy, so why can't Helmut play and just suck it up, not to be harsh. I think there's a fair chance he just ends up playing it anyways,
Yeah. Fedor, we were talking about this. He was the guest last show here, and he was willing to bet me that he does play. I think that would be a good poly market. Does help me play. It's a pretty interesting line. I mean, there's a couple things that could happen. One, the World Series could maybe amend it or make a thing. I know Phil signed with Bet Rivers. He's obviously Mr. WSOP, the most bracelets ever, and has a good relationship with them. But he definitely came out with a pretty strong take here on this. Definitely brings awareness and attention though to things, whether good or bad. And that's sort of like, listen, Phil is. I know Phil as well as almost anybody. I mean? Like, I stay at his house when I just recently play out there in some games. We went to the Warriors charity event. We're on 18 investments together. I talked to him a fair amount. He's a very interesting guy, very likable guy, also very polarizing, right? He can be, if you don't know him or he can come across as kind of over the top and, intense and wild. But like, the guy's got a good heart, great heart. And he, says what he just kind of wears his heart on his sleeve, says what he wants and goes with what he believes is right. This is, in my mind too, I think it's a little bit of a dramatic take in the sense of, like, listen, you've won the most bracelets ever. You won you're the youngest main event champion at one point. The World Series is like your baby, you know what I mean? Like, you are a World Series of poker. And it's like, even if you're right, even if it's too much or a little bit not completely fair, it's like, listen, man, you play, you can take naps, you can take a couple days off before you can, you get, there's like, it's a pretty gradual start too. There's day 1, A, B, C, D, right? Then there's day 2, day 2, A and B. You come late reg any of that point, you could come in really rested beforehand. You know what I mean? There's things you can do, like, and so what? Like, if you end up getting tired and you're on day 4 or 5 or 6, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, worst case is you get tired. Yeah, maybe you do make a bad play or you don't play perfectly. Like, I don't think it's that crazy of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I agree they could change some things or make it different a little bit. And I don't think the answer is shortening. A7, nice river there. Just kind of had the spade going to King 10, decided not to pull the trigger there and had a little semi-bluff, semi kind of merge hand going. Wasn't sure if he was good or not, but got to a river cheaply. Nice hand there for Vlad. But the point I'm saying is, it's like, all right, maybe they could put a day break. Maybe they could cut it half a day one day. Maybe they could end at midnight or 1 a.m. maximum at any day, right? And just push an extra day total. I don't think it's that big a deal either for the World Series to make that adjustment, because now the World Series used to be the last thing and they broke down the rooms and it ended. Now there's a bunch of events that go after the World Series. So for them to like extend it a day as well, it doesn't really do anything for them. Like I don't see why that they could just like make it a little less grueling too, right? I get that point, but I don't know. It seems like a little bit of hot takes everywhere, both sides. I think there's a better solution to it.
Yeah. I don't mean to be, when I said suck it up, I don't mean to be harsh on Phil. I like Phil. I think the point about a half day or a day off even after, let's say, day 7 or day 6 is super reasonable, and it's probably the best option. I think that's way better than shortening the levels. I really do. We're seeing an interesting one here. It's so funny how these spots work, because we just saw Vlad fold to Ace Jack versus a hijack open, but now he's choosing to 3-bet Ace 9 first to cut off. We saw Pedro fold to A7, low jack -1, but he decided to 3-bet under the gun 9 opening with Ace 3. So it's I think all these guys are great players, but I think that we're all still human, and perhaps there's some mood stuff going on, or just a perception of spot. Vlad thinking this was just simply a better spot than the Ace Jack was, and yeah, this is pretty scary. I think it's normal for Vlad to just check and fold here. Going to be a lot of interaction, and you're just super happy to get the fold there, aren't you? With pocket tens for a tiny bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, just about the main, like, and Phil in general, like, it's so funny that before I played with Phil, I was like, oh, this guy's so prideful, like, I'm not gonna enjoy playing with him. And then I played with him, and the guy is so funny, and I really enjoy playing with him every time, and I can't help but laugh and have a good time. He's got some quips and some things that might get under your skin, but overall, really like the guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's he's in his own world. He's been in this poker sort of like been the top guy and been there from day one since the poker was boom, and even then the TV stuff. And he's just kind of living his best life and loves poker and embodies it. And he's also 60 years old. Some people may know. I mean, he's in good shape. He's active. He's definitely does a lot of stuff. It's crazy, like how much at 60, how much he's such a grinder and on and off the table, right? Business wise, goes to charity events, flies around. I think he just posted a schedule about how he really does move and shake around, and he's Anyway, it's an interesting thought. I'm curious what'll happen if you had to bet. Let's put your price. Do you think Phil plays? Because if he doesn't play, it would be a pretty big deal, right? He's never missed it. He's won it. He is the main poster boy for the World Series. Do you think he'll play? Would you bet he does or doesn't if you had to bet today, just even money?
I would bet he plays. I wouldn't necessarily put a lot of money on it, but I think the FOMO is going to be too great. And like you said, yeah, there's no reason you can't take a couple days off beforehand. It always kind of blows my mind, people playing like the 3K random tournament before that instead of taking a day or two. And we did see a lot of great players. Phil made the point that like last year, a lot of players kind of got really tired at the end, and I just think having all the energy you can is important, and that's why taking care of our minds, our bodies, and our spirits, most importantly, in my opinion, is so important.
Yeah, no, it's well said. It's absolutely right. Like I said, I think Phil there's a lot of things he could do. He also has like, you can get it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do to make it less intense for you. But Phil does a good job of that too. He really does like go offline. He has all these different advisory boards and different things he's doing and people he keeps in touch with. And during the World Series, he's pretty much just like fully poker immersed and focused. So he already does a good job of shutting out things, as Ace 5 does have a really nice board as it is in the big blind. And as Pedro has played this hand, I think he's going to feel pretty comfortable. He's doing okay. 4 on the river does make some other easy straights, but Ace 5 has a winning hand if it can get to showdown. Any point, I was going to say to block, to bet, yeah.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be too surprised to see Pedro pay here because, I mean, yeah, he folds pretty quickly, but the way that the cash skew is going to play the turn is just a ton of betting. So when he does check, he's probably weighted towards one pair or just complete air that just isn't good enough to bet something like king two with no interaction. Um, Here we're just gonna see a three bet and take it. Ben found the overcall with ace king. This one's of course gonna be too good. And we're fair bet into the show and no one's busted yet. So again, yeah, we might be in for a long one here.
Yes, that's true. Also, we've seen in the past where no one busts for an hour or hour and 15, and then like they rapid fire out. It generally it works out with the blinds and just how it goes. But yes, this is again based on the the distribution to start and then the short stacks doubling. It does sort of make up for that more likely uh longer to bust out and more even across the board just kind of means more, I would say, careful play or less bigger risk premium, as you will. We've used that term today a few times, but that's kind of the case. And Ben, I mean, this has almost been in a way comical. He really has three bet Casimir a ton, and he's just kind of taking the spots. And of course, he did have kings once, but then the ace four suited, kind of a mandatory three bet in a lot of ways, and then king queen off, another one that's on the one of the better ones. So Casimir has been maybe feels picked on, but he's just kind of had, you know, top hands and the top quality three betting hands against his open.
Yeah, for sure. And ends up taking a small chip lead. See if he can find a win with this king jack and start to pull away. Not too likely. Probably see a small bet call. I think for chips, this is going to be a super normal check raise, but once you're playing on an FT, your value range has to be a lot stronger in order to be building pots, and pretty much the dream turn and unlikely to see too much checking. I think we're always going to see something like B80 or pot out of Ben. And now nothing to do but call, of course. But even now, we're not that excited for Pedro. Likely facing just a 1.1 river shove, and yeah, super brick. Not that exciting to have the king of spades. Gonna have a lot of missed draws here. Jack nine, king nine, ace jack, spades. So let's see what Ben comes with.
Well, yeah, kind of a tough one. Exactly. When you start looking at your bluff qualifying hands, it's what you're talking about. I mean, king queen for Pedro does have no spade, and he does have a king. This would be curious. I think Ben's weighing it out here, what he's repping and what he can get to fold or not. Does give it up, and Pedro holds on for a chip lead, basically tied for chip lead pot now. 2.7 right there with Casimir. Ben's still 2.1.
Yeah, that's going to be a super tough spot. I have no idea what Pedro would do. Maybe just gets shoved on, eventually clicks call and tries to take chip lead and build it up and win.
All right. Well, King Jack gonna come and quickly three bet Ben's 5-6 suited open. King Jack taking a spot. Ben a little frustrating. 5-6 kind of a nice hand and be opening to maybe get to a flop and get cribbing. He's gonna call the three bet with 5-6 suited. Wow.
Yeah, Ben's into play.
Did not expect
Maybe
that.
he's done a little away with the risk premium idea, and he said, you know what, ICM's not real. Come in with a 6 high position. It's nice timing from AD too. I guess he just thinks his price is too good.
Wow. Wow. It's it. I mean, was already ahead and already dialed in. Now it's just pretty brutal. And I mean, AD actually has the both backdoor, like the flush one of each, right? If one of the club or heart come in the river, just wonder if he could bet small again, or it's just kind of too dicey to even bet small. Does he want to just, what does he want to do here? I mean, this is not a great board for him to, he's going to, okay, so he's going to do that. Maybe that's the plan. Bet, and then if a club or a heart rivers or a king or a jack, and I'll put it in. And then if not, I don't know, maybe give up. And Ben with this very wet board, does he just close his eyes and call, or does he want to just send it in with this much draws there? If he happens to have like, you know, some hand with a club draw or heart draw, he does just close his eyes. And now it bricks out though for AD. This is not fun. This is like what a board for Ben too. No harder club. Even just he wasn't going to be fully no matter what, right? As played, but this just kind of wild like run out. And if you're AD, it's sort of sheepish if you have to turn it over. But you know, do you give it up here, or do you have to just unload it?
Yeah, another tricky kind of spot with the king jack. Are we gonna go all the way? And I think both of those spots are like what you would call responsible give ups. Just to quote Kevin Ravachau recently commentating the Triton, but it's a good term. I mean, because you have cards that you really don't want to have, and
Yeah.
the draws missed. In that spot, you're going to be giving Ben an insane price to bluff catch. I mean, he did just have the nuts, but like even if Ben had some weak-ish bluff catcher or reasonable bluff catcher, it's going to be pretty hard to fold given that price. So yeah, it's a nice give up, and just unfortunate, I think, that AD didn't take that down pre. And now we're going to be tough to get away. I mean, depends on what you think of the hijack, I guess. If you don't think he has many raised folds off the stack, you can make a tight fold, but he is going to go with it.
Gonna commit, gonna see the bad news. Does have a suited ace jack, however. Could chop, could get there. Some straights, flushes, jacks available. Ace king, though, good spot. This is for our essentially first knockout. The ace 10-10, ace king looking strong to the river. You can see the percentages there. Needs a jack only, and the king. That will not be good for AD. AD, though, still in 16K. Needs a Christmas miracle here, as he is down to a less than a third of a, he's got a third of a big, fifth of a big with his ante in there. So king 7 going to be good enough. King high, actually, as it stands, kind of live, right? The king 7, not really just a 7 out, and even maybe gonna get it in technically good. Did we see what, an a7 folded, or no? I'm sorry,
Ace jack.
Was it ace jack folded? Am I tripping or something?
Yeah, I think that was ace jack. I mean, maybe the seagull's not as
golden seagull.
crazy as we thought.
Wow, with the player all in too, I would think that would just be a great spot to open there, right? You just open, he's going to be posted all in. No one's going to get 2 out of line in that right. That's a little surprising. As it stands, AD dominating the queen 7, and may just go the multi-way. Vlad gonna see if he's gonna limp in here or not. Okay, so king 7 got the best hand somehow. That's a very unlikely thing to happen. There's the king though. Queen 7 flops the 118-1 flush, and that'll do it. So drawing dead. Never easy. Never easy.
Yeah, there he goes. Out of ninth, but great player, tough player. Always fun to watch.
Yeah, 9th place. There it is. 8 left. Pay jump. Good news for everyone who is left. You can see AD going out. Also, just so many final tables. Doesn't get it done there with short stack. Had a little bit of a spin and then is down. Casimir now. Ace 4 suited going to come raising versus Golden. And Golden with the king 7 off. Closing the action in the big blind. Pick it up. Pick it up. Ben back on almost the chip lead. Top 3 pretty close. Cats Chew with 2 mil. And then we see the rest. So yeah, still plenty of play. Plenty of chips for the remaining 8 Payouts lower left, can see the name of the players as they get knocked out as well. Upper left, you can see when the blinds go up. Got 6 more hands this level, and we'll shoot it on up. 1,400 on. Appreciate all of you being here and hope you're enjoying. We'll be back next week again. Got another stacked list, a lot of guests. I got a ton of people too. If anyone is at this final table watching, you want to reach out, be on as well, please do. We do see that happen. We have like to have players on that play here. Ben's obviously 5-time guest, maybe more, 5 or 6 if I'm not mistaken. And start of the day chip leader today. See if he's able to close out King 9 here. And 7s are the best hand currently. And he's gonna go for bluff, and this is 7s.
See if you can pick it off. Definitely better have this hand than a bunch of others. I mean, you'd of course prefer to have the ace jack for this one, but it's gonna be better than 9s, 10s, of course, than ace 10, ace king. You really don't want to have 10, 9, king in your hand, 8 in your hand.
Duco, capable, willing. Is he able? He is in the tank. And again, a guy knows Ben's capable. That golden seagull stuff, though, is, it's a little, he comes out that queen jack heart bluff on the river. Then he's folding ace jack under the gun. A few other spots. So again, like we mentioned, the wild card and living up thing. Nice call, Duco. Gonna put the legend in the bin there on the bluff catcher. And as you mentioned, for those reasons, definitely a reasonable hand. Still not easy to pull the trigger there, right? You're just gonna get shown a better hand often, and that's what makes the GGMillion so special. Great players making great bluffs, but great players making great calls, and just so often getting it right. Right? They just seem to find the big fold, they find the big call. And Duco showing us his class there as he takes Ben head on as a pretty big flop here. Pair flush draw versus top pair top kicker. It is a connected board though. 6, 7, 8. Very wet, very draw heavy, very connected. And Casimir does well to check back there. Even though he does have the best hand, would have been equity wise, I think, behind slightly. Now the queen of hearts on the turn, things change. 270 in the middle. Still probably gonna feel content with a decent hand, but also a bit of a scary board. Does he want to start betting something here?
Yeah, it's kind of a nice line and not that easy to do, so to speak. I mean, I think the easy option is to just bet the flop, but even with a hand like top, you're just so dead when you get check raised. I think you're really you're gonna get a ton of bad runouts. You might already be actually drawing dead or close to drawing dead. And now intuitively, I would think that big blind wants to lead a bunch. Even if you go like B25 here, you probably just make a queen fold. You can probably make a hand like ace 9, king 9 folds. And you get a really good price to do it. I mean, you have so many good hands here. You have some flushes, you have some straights. You obviously have 2 paired. I mean, you're not going to lead that, but I think it would be a really nice play. And now Casimir, considering bluffing this, and this just goes to show again how deeply he's thinking about the game. He's not just checking and hoping to beat a hand. We can see he's going to showdown and win here. If he does check, but he's now thinking, okay, can I make him fold a queen? Can I make him fold the 9-7 that had a mandatory turn call? And yeah, really nice call there with the 7s coming back on that last 10 from Duco. Just really well played. And yeah, well, just going for the tough option, saying I'm not gonna hope. I'm gonna take charge here and do all I can to win.
High level stuff. 3 pairs here across 5s, 4s, and 8s, but the 4s go away. 8s, 20 blinds, later position open. Got the hijack. Yeah, I mean, he's where's he stand? He's one of the shortest.
Yeah, I think it'll just be a shove against chip leader. If Casimir is opening off like 20 bigs, it's probably going to be a flat call. The pocket eights does really poorly in the shove, considering the lowest cards that middle stack will be opening is starting with an 8 or a 9, some suited 9s, some suited 8s, some ace-8 offsuit and stuff. And sort of surprised to see Casimir tanking here. Don't think 5s is that close, but does just fold.
Well, 8th is 55K. 9th has been awarded, and all to play for. No deal making. Play to a winner. That will be happening today. Welcome on, about 1,400 of you. Please hit that thumbs up if you're having a enjoyable show. Also, get that subscribe button out. We will get the giveaways once we're down to 4-handed. That will already be part of the giveaway. Must be doing those 2 things. And then Jeff Gross Poker Twitter, $50 cash. See a handful of you already hit the retweet and guessed your winner. Things, I mean, it's just tight to call. I don't know. Just tight. Just no real easy pick right now.
Yeah, interesting peel here. Casimir wanting to play some hands. I think all 3 options there are reasonable. If he just decides he's gonna play tight and fold, okay. Good 4-bet bluff, okay. And could take your price. I mean, he's only making it 5 big, so he's getting a really good price in a suited ace. Covering bend, so reasonable, I think, to peel there, even on a final table out of position. I think this is a little too okay. I would probably go ahead and fold there, but he does cover him by a lot.
Is it better that he covers him by a lot, or would you almost rather him have 1.6 as well, or be even just because like the implied odds? It's kind of goes both ways. It's nice to cover, but it's also like you're calling to win, not a lot. And
yeah, that's a good question. I think the 1.6 helps in the fact that like now he has to play tighter post flop. He can't put as much money in with the higher SPR, and also he just has, maybe as ace-9 offsuit, and then off this shorter stack he doesn't. And also like, I don't know, you have 10-2 suited and you're playing a super low SPR when you do defend against the 16 big blind opener or whatever. So like, what are we really hoping for? I think it's just too weak, but yeah, Duco's tough and getting in there. So if he thinks it's making money, I think calls reasonable. Oh my word. That is incredible.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, following the interesting hand, now we have a mystery hand in the Rockets for our mystery player today. The wild card got the aces under the gun. We saw him fold ace jack off with this many players left. A little bit different. There was a guy basically all in, but here we go. Going to go ahead and kick it up. And pretty good start for aces, getting to the fold. You got position, big blind now coming along. But that is a bit of an interesting board. A little scary, right? 10-9-7, big blind calling. This is definitely a hand that will interact with the big blind often. And you might have your work cut out here for you with the aces. But as it plays, what do you like size-wise, Aram?
I think my default is check. It's kind of similar to that ace-8 on the 8-7-6. We're playing, we have a board where you just get a terrible run out fairly often. Any 10-9, 8 jack 6 is pretty bad for you. And aces does a nice job of bluff catching later in the check line. So I like check personally. But yeah, putting in some money here when you do, there's all the broadways that you get to target for this big bet. So don't fault him. I think it's probably I don't know. I don't want to say it's probably a big bet or check, but for chips it seems that way. I'm not sure for a final table. And Yeah, this is already like somewhat ugly. I don't think like Casimir's going to be, check raising queen 10 or king 10 and calling it off. So it's going to end up having a lot of straights and two pairs here.
Yeah, it's funny how aces can just this exact board. And this is a great mystery hand because it just illustrates how many times if you're here at home watching, you have aces in this type of spots. It's a little dicey, right? It's not fun. This is scary. You just could be you're covered 2-1 plus here, and like to see the check, I guess. But this is uh definitely not a great board for this situation.
Yeah, this is a tricky spot. I mean, does he check? Does he shove? Does he small bet?
Mm.
And there's one of those deathly runouts. You almost like, I mean, if the guy checks, or like, are we gonna bluff our hand? Probably not, but it would be kind of funny if Casimir has something like 10-8 and checks and he's able to find a bluff and then make him fold. Not a likely outcome, just saying.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a bet here though. This is gonna be a tough spot. It's almost tougher if you bets like 600 or 500 instead of all of it. It's like both are, which typically in this spot, if you bet 550 versus or something like this versus all in, which is scarier to you? Although, I mean, this is almost seems like you can't fold, although you just feel like you're beat always. But I mean,
Yeah,
what
the five
you think?
5 or 600 I think is scarier.
Yeah,
I think at this point we're really only looking at 8x for bluffs, right? Like ace eight, king eight. Can't think of really any other hands unless he's doing something really sick with ace 10. Um, that is one that I didn't list on the flop. Let's say, king 10 is not necessarily good enough, but maybe he decides ace 10 is just like good enough to go with, and then he gets to this line and he thinks, okay, I think he has aces or kings, and I want to get a really good price to make him fold. So that'd be really sick if that's what he's doing. Super ugly spot for Golden Seagull, just in terms of like, if you fold and you're wrong, it feels really bad because of the price that you're getting. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard to be good here.
oh my goodness,
And
he
he
does have.
found it.
I was gonna say I think I'm calling for that price just because it's like it's just even I don't know. I just felt like that's a wild one. I would have called personally, not loved it, but I think like the 500, 550 would be I might find a fold there and just like hate it. But 240, I think I just gotta believe like, if it's some sick two pair kind of blocker value or whatever, something like that, you just got to pay it off. I think for that price, that's just my read there. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna get shown a winner. I don't know. That's the way. Would you have called it 240?
I hope so. I mean, I'd be, I would not be feeling too amazing, but I think it's reasonable.
Yeah, I
Again,
would. I would have
it's
called.
hard to come up with bluffs there, and like when he big bets that flop and gets raised, like it's not like Casimir's just going to look at an eight every time and raise. So he's going to end up having value a lot. And then he's going to have an eight that needs to bluff, or somehow the ace 10. You're blocking ace eight, you're blocking ace 10. I think it's pretty reasonable folds. You are getting an insane price, but yeah, I mean, you want to play as low as possible. So I don't think it's unreasonable to fold there. It's just a really sick bluff by Casimir.
That was a crazy hand. That was a great selection today. The mystery hand selection, top notch there. That was a tricky one. I was torn. I think it was super close. I just think the sizing. I thought it was would call, but
Yeah,
and what about
no,
all in? Do you
you
think?
need to be. That's something that you know I've had to get drilled into my head. is that okay? You don't need to be right that often, and especially there. I mean, what is he getting? 5.5 to 1. He has to be right. Whatever it is, 16% of the time. And you just have to be okay with giving the guy money 5 times out of 6. And that's just how it works. I mean, on a final table, sure, you have to be right more often, but
Yeah.
yeah, just saying it's reasonable to fold, but could definitely just flick in the call and hope to see the king eight. Guess flats are gonna chip up here, and yeah, as I was saying earlier, unorthodox player. That was that might be my favorite hand. I mean, we have a while to go, but that deuce six through bet was something, and then Duco just snap shoved over the top, wasn't having it. So interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. Well, we are officially about hour and 5 minutes in, and yeah, I mean this has been only one knockout, so we are getting some short stacks now, but been a bit bit of jockeying for position right now. There is a this is just again, it's high level poker. Guys are not making a lot of mistakes. There's been great bets, great folds, and we've seen some very interesting poker as always here. As Ben ace deuce goes for it against Siegel, min raising. This is out there a little bit off this stack size, and we're versus Siegel. I mean, this is like got to be so read. Yeah, this is pretty spicy. The min click
Yeah,
versus
is it a 30-minute delay for the stream?
40. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wonder if that ace jack was shown by now. I don't think it was, but yeah, really aggressive and nice timing by Ben.
Jack nine suited, so attractive. You are the shortest stack. I mean, just maybe peel. It's also a guy we see as a wild card. I mean, it's like if you're gonna open it and he's gonna shove it, and that goes with I mean that maybe not a great 3-bet if he's gonna take his weakest stuff and stuff it, right? That might be the other part of it. So that was interesting. That was very interesting.
Yeah, beautiful dance, isn't it? I mean, we just see the perfect play, quote unquote. Like I mean, even AD's King Jack hand, right? He chose the right time, but then was like, nope, I'm gonna peel. Okay, Golden Seagull, coming over the top, four betting the Jack nine suited, getting that ace two out of there.
Yep. This has been again exciting. Definitely exciting.
Yeah,
Fun
it's
poker.
been a good FT. Ben is going for it, man. This is I think that's like a open for chips, but not. I could be wrong. He covers everyone behind, right? But it seemed a bit out there. I mean, I think it's safe to say he's a bit out there. He's through betting the ace two off.
In a format like this, how much of an edge in this lineup? Again, let's assume we don't know a few guys super well, right? Like a Ben CB who's been around forever and has courses and programs and run all the spots and is definitely like got to put him in the upper echelon of players in the world. Versus like kind of this table, like how big of an advantage skill wise do you think players can have in this, and what type of notes are you taking personally when you're playing these high buy-in small fields? Like what give me kind of both of that. How much of an advantage do you think Ben might have over this field, and also like how intricate are your notes in terms of the big blind defends and willingness to go for it, and like how detailed do you get on notes, and when you're going to play with some guys often, right? That's the thing versus big field, smaller buy-in.
Yeah, I think note taking is super important. Edges are pretty small at these stakes. I mean, wow, Duco and deuces and gets what he
Wow,
wants out of.
Vlad, I think that would be a note. Vlad's a little bit. Vlad attacks big blind, small blind, opens. He's really went after him, and he flopped set, and Vlad's going to be out the door there. So pretty interesting. A couple times he did make aggressive movements there. But yeah, is that something, you know, how much how do you rate yourself with notes and stuff? Like, do you have like a spreadsheet, for example, at like Poker Go, and you got like all the names listed, and you have like a, you know, this guy tight, like, you know, I mean, how immersed and how advanced are note taking in these type of scenarios when you get to see people so frequently?
Yeah, it's a good question. I probably don't go as hard as other individuals. I try to take pretty specific notes when I am playing. But sometimes I like to just put the phone away, to be honest. I'm not a guy who's looked at mass data, let's say. That's something that is, you know, I think it's fairly common nowadays. It's not something that I necessarily want to be doing, but yeah, as far as note taking, I try to do my best. And if I think there's something specific going on, I'll try to note it. But yeah, that king three that was an aggressive one. I think it's fairly reasonable. I mean, you have the king, you have the kind of not inconsequential card, but I think you see those kinds of plays happening. Of course, if you're gonna have like ace deuce, it's a better candidate. But it's somewhat, wow, everyone's playing so fast. This is great. You're just wasting no time. We're just gonna snap 4-bet jam the ace four. Um, yeah, it's like kind of the same hand class, and as long as Duco has a bunch of raised folds, then it could just be fine. Um, yeah, it all depends on how Duco constructs his range there and what he actually has, but I can't really fault him too much for that one. And that's yeah, poker's so tough. Partly for that reason is like all these 3-bets are like kind of good timing. Like if you're the ace jack there as I don't want to butcher this Schuster ish, you know, and you thought the guy was weak, you were right, but he just still had the like 4-bet jam hands. That's something I had to learn too playing live. I remember playing with Marius Gears and I win 10K, and we were close to a bubble. We were like soft bubble, and I'm like, man, I think this guy's weak, and I made it kind of disciplined fold it and 3-bet the king 10 whatever, and I was like, oh, what'd you have, bro? And he's like, oh, I had ace four, and I was like, okay, I was right. I was right, so to speak. He had ace four, but he was going to be all in on me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
This is, ooh, sevens, good
wow.
discipline there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's against one of the chip leader. The actual chip leader could have easily made a move there. Would have been bad timing, but good timing to not do that.
Yeah,
And
that's
here
great
is
fold.
Pedro going to take the queen 10 suited. Again, that principle thinking that the big stack's just light. And that's part of this is where it gets interesting too, right? If you're Casimir, you realize that. And although nines are vulnerable and not the nuts, you kind of in this scenario when you're basically expect to be opening the widest, lightest, that this is sort of the nuts. But he does fold, does get out of the way.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those hands, no man's land. I mean, he's not getting a good price. We saw a bunch of peeling here. That was a spot where Pedro selected the 8 big blinds over 2, and he's not allowing his opponent to, you know, he's not making it easy on him. So it just goes to show how much of poker is a math game, right? You're getting poor price. You have a hand that's not going to flop well. It's going to end up being a bluff catcher a lot, and yeah, it just gets out of the way, preserves his chip lead.
Ace 8, ace 6, 6 making trips was out flopping Duco already on the flop. Yeah, 143 entrants confirmed. That was the total. We are looking at a 172K pot chip leader. Duco with ace 8. Definitely gonna realize ace 8 blind on blind here. Gonna be good enough. Frustrating, right? Ace 8, you're in the small blind, big blind, come into it on a rainbow turn, queen jack 6-6. Looks sort of innocuous. Definitely could be have the best hand. And really good board for Casimir, having the nut 6 with no straight, no flush possible. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see call. Definitely got to hang tough on the turn at least once and get to the river. And yeah, I mean, makes sense to be 150. 6 or nothing.
Really nice bet. Really nice bet. And it's exactly whether it's like Jack X here or ace high, it's almost the same sort of the polarizing spot, as you said, 6 or nothing. So nothing, you beat a good nothing there. Ace 8. You don't have a 9-10 king. Those are sort of the only real draws, right? Even I guess 8-9, but yeah. Does get out of the way. So good bet, good fold, good sizing. Greedy sizing, but I like it.
Yeah. Greedy but reasonable. Yeah, Duco 2 for 2 on the bluff catches, and the big bluff catches at least.
143. What's up, Ryan? Lead out in the house. Good. A lot of familiar faces today. Almost 150 thumbs up. Appreciate that. We're at 10%. We can at least get to 20% of you guys out there to click a button. Have you even hit it, Aram? You got to hit the thumbs up. Can't ask the audience to if you haven't. I hit the thumbs up. I got the tweet working. I have got a giveaway $50 and $100 tickets for you guys confirmed. We'll be getting that once we get down to four-handed and save some time. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe now. That is to be eligible. And then we'll have a $200 worth of giveaways today. Another day, another GGMillion, another big day of learning. And where is your next? When are you playing next? What's your next schedule? I saw your poker go, just got second, I think a fifth. You were there for a bit. You said you're traveling, you're back in Europe at the moment. What's your next schedule of live events?
Yeah, next live event will be event 1 of US Poker Open. Really excited for that. It's playing at the Aria is my favorite. Yeah, I'm not playing any poker except maybe a little bit of online in the next month. Seeing the flop full house, exciting stuff until your opponent just has a check fold. But we'll see if Takatsuki goes check. But it would have been interesting to see if he chose this as a bluff raise candidate with both of the suits. Yeah, I'm in Armenia for the next month. I'm doing a volunteer program and learning the language. I'm working with children and just studying poker hard, reading a bunch of books and trying to bring all my, my stress levels down from all the playing poker.
For sure.
Check again. Going full trap here.
Yeah, club comes 8-9 high. No real money put in at this point. So does Katsu just believe that maybe he's just really he does get a bite, gets a bite out of it, and well played from Duco. Finds a way to extract chips when really would have had no other way to. And certainly is going to raise. And that'll be a quick fold from Katsu.
Yeah, pretty huge to get the 4 big blinds extra when, if you bet and he just folds at some point.
Yeah, nice pot. Gonna get a big raise here and quick fold. And we will still continue. 7-handed have lost 2, playing to a winner. 30K, 60K upper left. 2 hands will be going on up on that. And Ben has been relentless 3-betting today. He really has taken every in which one. And this time, cutoff button, A7 off against the guy who I guess you're attacking a bit, him and Casimir. See if he's going to shoot this up again. Oh, he's got queens behind him. Not going to work. Not going to work. He is. I just felt like he was going to do it, right? He's taking wider than this. A7 off. And what a spot for the queens. Going to get to put it in and have to fade an ace. And I guess still Ben won't call off probably 500 more, right? He'd have to call 5 when there's really doesn't look like much fold equity. A7 off isn't going to be getting the right price, is it? For
Oh, this is not. Yeah, it's really close. Does snap fold? I mean, he has 4.5 bigs in, and he has to call for 11.6 total, with also that 2 big blinds open dead. But he does snap fold, just respecting the fact that he needs a lot more equity, and it changes the stack quite a bit when he does double that guy and lose. Yeah.
A6
what about you, Jeff? What are you playing next?
I was just down the Bahamas, played the 25, the 10s there, and I will play the World Series in Maine. I think there's some stuff at the Hard Rock. I'm honestly doing some live games, and I like cash PLO. It's my preference. And then the show weekly, doing the podcast, and not much. I got a 2-year-old, almost 6-year-old. So the tournament stuff is a tough time to really justify traveling. I might go to Montenegro and do the Triton. The Korea one, I did Korea. I went out there a year and a half ago or so, 2 years ago now. It was a pretty intense trip. Brought the family. It's just tough, man. Little kids and trying to do. I find like bringing family and going to like the poker stuff is really. It feels like a great idea, but it's just the kids are up at 6 a.m., 5:30, ready to go to the slides or do stuff. You're already playing a lot. You want to catch up with friends, right? Be there, see people you don't really get to see as much. So that's like then the dinner becomes second you're out. It's like you're with the family, with the wife. And I find that is not generally the best way to do these trips, where I kind of in my head, I always thought that's how I would do it. But now also my son's in kindergarten. So it's also like not as even just like whenever for 4 trips. So, I don't really have much destination trips. I think that would be the next would be some PLO. They play a couple tournaments in the Montenegro, and then World Series. That's really it. Maybe a Hard Rock. The problem is too, because like my actual only week, like what I do with GG with the weekly is this show. So there's that as well. Where if I'm playing live, some of the time the stuff that I want to play like directly would conflict. Like even the Hard Rock, they have like a great 25K, which I played a bunch and done well. I like that tournament, but that's usually Monday, and then like Tuesday's deep or the final table. So it's like as well when that comes around, it's like, okay, I'm basically saying that I need to miss this show, which is my priority and what I enjoy doing. And you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's just all not really my like main tournament time right now. I've sort of been the least I've played in a long time is now for tournaments, I would say. But all good. They're fun though. I will say I'm watching the Triton stuff, see the turnout's insane in JG right now. The live stuff in Bahamas was great. There's tours everywhere. It's like, I love it. It's fun. I also feel like I've done some work and gotten better. I love watching the show. I do feel it improves my game a lot, especially if you ever were to make a final table, right? This is a lot of practice with this. Not necessarily going to get you there because of the early stages, mid stages, but just in terms of like what's current, what's the trends, how players are playing, what works, what doesn't. And I do feel very confident in my no limit game. A big part of that being doing 4 hours, 3.5 hours a week of this as you're sort of, again, it's like the tempo, the time. It's not even just watching the highlights, right? It's like you're actually in it and feel it. I like the mystery hands. I like to kind of predict and guess what you're going to do. Of course, you see whole cards up. It's a little different, but tournaments are fun. I just think they're a blast. I think it's so much fun and such a good state right now of where the game is at for live poker in particular. It's fun. And there's some great players, some of the best in the world, but also a lot of new people in poker. And it's fun. It's always just a box of chocolates. I think it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's always different, always new.
Yeah, it's really booming. Yeah, it's interesting. The first tournament you said is WSOP Maine, and that's like 4 months away. Yeah, I guess it's different for you. And I mean, you're living the dream. You got two-year-old and a 6-year-old. That's way more important than playing some tournament at the Hard Rock, man.
For
Everyone
sure.
healthy and happy.
Yeah, yeah, good, all good. What everything's good, man. It's great. Honestly, it is. Like wouldn't trade for anything. It's just like it is like that age is so fine. It goes so quickly. Like it's just amazing. My 6-year-old, I'm like, wow, like he's 6. It's crazy, and it's it is true. Like you notice that too. Some of the players and they have families and stuff. They play less. Yeah, I think it's like one of those things. I in my head, who knows where poker will be as tens again. Gonna make a set this time, not quite top set. No, nothing there. There's a lot going on here. Flushes, straights, and he does have an opponent actually doesn't really have much to compete with. But it's just like that. You see some of these guys in like their 50s, or as older kids get to college or get a little bit older, and they hopefully poker's in a great place then, and maybe dive back more into that's a long time though. We're talking like 15 16 years. We'll see what's happening. It might be a 6-card PLO is the main event in 20 years from now or something. Well, who knows what's going to happen. I actually do. I've heard about saying that maybe the main should kick up their price point. What do you think about making it 15K or 20K, or you just leave it 10 just for inflation, for in general? Just, I guess the purity of it and how it has been, it just seems like at some point you can't have the 10K in 40 years, right? Is it, you can't have a 10K WSOP main in 40 years. I don't think so. Is there a point where you kick up the price?
I mean, I hope they don't crush us that bad with inflation. For now, for the foreseeable future, don't fix is not broken. I think it's
Yeah,
like you said,
agreed.
it's like yeah, it's the purity of it, it's the beauty, it's the 10K that gets 10,000 people,
Yeah.
and yeah,
No,
Pedro
I think
gonna
it's great.
close.
I just wonder if it'll ever kick up as, the next whatever 20 years from now. Would you say 20 years from today, do you think the main event will be the same price, or do you think it'll be going
I
like
don't think so. 20 years is a long time.
it is?
Uh,
That's crazy to think about. 20 years. That's a wild time. Anyway, we're thinking about a mystery hand right now. Talk to me. Ace Jack, Pedro Golden. I love how they put our mystery guy. Oh, he's not in this one. He folded, but we got Duco flatting the button. Ace Jack off. Not super appealing here. Duco gonna have a lot of pairs. Also some suited broadways though. And other hands. So let's see here. Check. Starts with a check. Seems reasonable.
I guess we're getting fair on the turn, piling in the money. Yeah, I'd always start with check and probably just check fold in. Like you said, Duco having all those fours, fives, sevens, sixes, threes, eights. Comes with check again.
Yeah, pretty phenomenal card for Pedro there. Of course, drilling top pair, top kicker, and does go ahead and set a bit of a, I guess, I don't want to say trap, but nice, kind of puts himself in a nice check call with no diamond in his hand. Does pretty well here, but also realizing that maybe is there some world where Duco would check back sevens, fives, fours, or other hands. Although at this point, the run out Jack Jack. Interesting if Duco goes. What a run out for Pedro. Just Jack Jack here. I mean, kind of the nuts, right? You lose to sevens, fives, and fours. That's it. And would he
Yeah,
check
and
back
if
those
I can
hands? Probably not.
fours, right? Yes, super discounted for
Probably
fives
not
and
even
fours.
calling fours there. I don't know. Fives, sevens, maybe. Like,
I think he gets in there. I mean, he wants to play. I think it was Pedro we saw with that ace ten of hearts. Nice check call. Was that him in the pregame show? You remember? Yeah,
um,
too many poker
Pedro.
hands. It's all good.
Wow, he goes for the Milski. And if you're Pedro, is there any point to? I guess if to raise here though, like would I guess King Jack would be crazy suited? Is he flat King Jack or Queen Jack suited there? And is there a reason that is it just too big of a pot and you just call and as played, or do you have to go for the extra here?
Yeah, good question. It's
Not
really
folding, never folding.
yeah, yeah. That's the only question exactly. Does he check back sevens? Does he? I mean, does he have sevens right now? Does he have fives? What it comes down to, again, those fives and those fours are discounted. He does jam, and we're loving life. Fades, fades is not. So I guess he just has Queen Jack or King Jack and has to figure it out.
Or does he have
There's
tens ever in bet like this? Maybe not tens specifically. Oh my goodness, he
no.
has
Oh
the
wow.
sevens. He goes for it, and then he even thought about it. I guess he was thinking he has the nuts other than pocket jacks, right? I mean, jack seven suited somehow that opened. I don't know. Like that is a freaking wild hand. The no tank call sevens did stand out. What a sick hand. Can we put that on as one of the highlight hands on GGMillion ever? I mean, that was such a crazy run out. The fact that he flat sevens, checks back top set, runner, jack, gets the big bet, gets the raise. And wow, that is quite a hand. Wow. Sick. I mean, you can't blame Pedro for going for it, right? I guess that's what you think about. Sevens, fives, fours versus queen jack, king jack suited. And whatever. What was the other one? Jack 10 suited maybe or something. So yeah, it's probably pretty close in terms of value and not, but also then you have to factor in the fact how often is he checking back the top set or a set there. So pretty interesting hand. Wow, that's one to note.
Yeah, super brutal for Pedro because he took like more than 10 seconds. I would not be happy to have the guy have taken that much time. And that's kind of the thing. As long as that wasn't like I don't like this gentleman. I'm gonna slow roll him a little bit kind of thing, which I don't think it was. I think he was legitimately just thinking that like, okay, if this guy raises, he has the absolute nuts. So yeah, that's what makes it so difficult for the ace jack there as a raise is, I didn't really have too much time to say it before it happened, but like if you do have king jack as duca, if you have the queen jack, it's so hard to come up with bluffs, I think, for Pedro. I mean, he's facing pot in a spot where imposition just has trips like a lot. And then wow, mega cooler. We'll get back to that. And wow.
There it is. We've been saying we have in this man, Jay Schusteris, who was our 8th place off again, 30 blinds though, not like 8th place with 12 or 7. So he was short, not short. He was an 8th, but he has got himself a pretty nice tee up here. And Queens, I mean, Casimir covering both. They have similar stack. Can you toss Queens here? I guess maybe.
I don't think so. No, you just got to
much hand. Yeah, I guess they have like ace, whatever, the first guy in and the second guy wakes up. And that is a wild run out here as the king 10 has some life. King on the turn, the full sweat on the river. Can we see something dramatic? The jack. I mean, this is a crazy run out. Aces. He counterfeited. That was it. That is an action run out. We have seen 2 spicy hands here, and Casimir down to 1.3, and the king 10 who hit lightning there is now on his way out. We are 6-handed, and that was a lot of action for the 1,600 watching. You guys have come in at a good time the last couple hundred. Hit that thumbs up. Be ready for the giveaways. A lot of people hitting that. Appreciate you. We are having a great day here. Aram Zoblan, who does do some personal coaching. Where can they contact you for the coaching? On Instagram, or what's the best way to get a hold of you? Or I just put your phone number in the chat. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, Instagram. If you know my phone number through a mutual friend, it's all good. Hit me up on WhatsApp. I'm in Armenia. I don't have the the other number working right now. But yeah, also on I make poker coaching videos on pokercoaching.com. Shout out to Jay Little, Jay Saliba, all those guys. Also shout out to Justin. Just got a 4th place finish in the 25K at Triton. But yeah, hit me up. Let's work. And yeah, that was insane. I had a feeling some sucking out would happen, but we had the full resuck out with the aces and the justice there. This one, Pedro getting in there with the deuce 4, limping in, and ends up paying. It's been kind of rough for Pedro in these last few hands, last orbit or so. But the solace is you have 8 bigs, fairly easy stack to play, and You know, a couple guys are fairly short and not that unlikely you just get a pay jump or two. These kind of stacks are really, I mean, these distributions are fun to watch because it's like Pedro is of course going to go out a lot, but it's really still sort of anyone's game in the fact that like, I mean, Golden Seagull can just get heads up and outlast everyone. Casimir picks up the kings. Don't think sevens can end up putting it in here. Would have been interesting if Duco didn't have a hand that could flat. But yeah, there's just no way that he can call with Duco having flatted behind him.
That was a crazy run out. Crazy run out. The jack on the river, man. What a time for aces. Yeah, Casimir, no way he could fold that queens, right? It's just, and he's covering too. He's still got 1.6 at the moment. He's gonna not see a better hand there sometimes for sure. I mean, king 10 suited jam could have easily been jack's other one, or ace king other hand.
Yeah, I think the big blind probably just has tens plus and ace queen suited in that spot. Maybe even ace queen out. So jacks probably can. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can fold jacks there. Definitely can fold tens, but yeah, queen's going to be great. You can see a lot of, you know, you can see the ace king, the ace queen, you can see the jacks and the tens, so on and so forth. All right, getting the jacks and just gonna see a shove, right?
8-7, gonna rip it. Jack's pretty good spot, million in the middle. Do we get a sweat? Ooh, 6 is possible. 8, 7, or 6, or else we will continue on 6-handed and a scary looking 9, but didn't give that slow peel there. Kind of just ripped off there. Jack's gonna hold. Pedro having himself a little ride today. Not going smooth, but he is in. 5 million for Duco, 3.7 for Schuster. Ben sort of hovering right where he started. I think he had 2.7 to start, so not going amazingly well for him either. He sort of ran into it. He's been pretty aggressive. Players have kind of had it or played back. Golden's been holding steady. He's in there. He's mixed it up with us, kind of giving us some unpredictability. Pedro gonna go ahead and shoot it up here, and another little bit frustrating for Ben. Opens a hand he's gonna open, and guy just runs in with the perfect better hand to attack. Blinds are up 40K, 80K.
Yeah, that's quite a sweaty one for Pedro. Swinging hard and just feels super bad to go that way.
I like limping those, but I guess it's when you're covering and you have a huge stack, you just want to be raising mostly. But I wonder to limp there sometimes tens.
Yeah, he likes that 2.2. I guess that's the size he decided on is good in that spot. And I think he just has a pretty easy rip here, covering by infinite and clearing out so many hands, cleaning up equity, not allowing the big blind to defend the Jack 9-0 and 8-7 suited and all that good stuff. And we'll see how he approaches this one. He could definitely rip if he wanted, but just going with the safe option, so to speak, not risking that chip lead and coming in for raise fold. So I have to say it's interesting seeing how people approach ICM because you know it's changed the way that people viewed for a while, perhaps not many people were playing that tight, and then everyone kind of adjusted to play like really tight. And yeah, today we're seeing a lot of the like flatting from out of position, and uh, we're seeing bluff catching, we're seeing big bluffs happening. So it's interesting. Poker's kind of shifting in different directions all the time, and people get to play their own style and decide whether they want to follow the rules or not, so to speak. And Ben going ahead and showing another card there. I had a kind of funny interaction with Ben a while ago. He's a big fitness guy, right? So he does the burpees, and he posted something like I did 500 burpees in I don't know what it was, 35 minutes, something like insane. And so I messaged him like, do you jump during these burpees? And he's like, no, I do them laying down. Just hit me with some sarcasm, but like, man, I kind of want to know, Ben, like, how high are you jumping when you do these burpees? Because you're doing that many in a row. Like that's some brutal if you're actually leaving the ground every time.
No, he's intense. I was over in Austria. I went there for like a month, got a place, was streaming there some maybe a couple years ago, and then spent a bunch of time go training with him boxing. He is really he's one of those guys, man. He's just kind of that just a crusher like mindset and just hard worker and just dialed in, man. The guy, hits the cold plunge, does his thing, and comes in ready. He's not one of those guys who's gonna be at the bar and wake up, roll out of bed, and hop in the tournaments. He's giving his best in there, trying to win, and he really does seem to have big stacks so frequently too. We've seen him here at this GGMillion final table, top 2, top 3, chip leader coming in. Right, he's not limping into these tournaments. He's coming in with big stacks, and we can see his willingness to go for it. He is definitely pushing, threading the needle, and putting pressure on people. Yeah, Duco up to 4.8. Duco also 4 titles, very impressive. 16 final tables. Ben has 19 final tables. AD 19 final tables. Put that in perspective. Pedro has 3. Cats Chew also has 10, but Golden Seagull is first. Vlad 4. Jay Schustrich is first. So, having 19, 16 final tables is a lot in this. This is the big boy tournament in the world. That runs each week. 10K. Not a soft tournament.
Yeah, no slouches out here.
No. King 9. This hand looks like potential. 2 overs, backdoors. This looks like a check raise candidate. Pedro also Jack 10 with the diamond. Gonna go big though. And this is, if you have King 9 though, to check raise, it's one thing when you're deep. This is sort of like shallow stacks. I don't know. Is it really, maybe you could just rip it in, but that feels like kind of punt spewy too.
Yeah, looks like he's thinking about it.
I think he would normally check raise, or this is a good board, but again, the stack size there, it's just like you're just like, all right, when he has a pair or something that's decent, you're just like, now there's no bluffing, it's just runner.
Yeah, that was a function of Pedro going big. If he were to go quarter there, Casimir is very likely to just put it in. Kind of interesting to not see the shove here by Duco. Maybe just really respecting the fact that he has the chip lead, doesn't want to give it up and risk doubling someone there. But, covers both guys by kind of a lot there, and you have an ace, so it's a bit surprising, but doesn't seem that crazy. Yeah, and so that like Jack 10, he just gets to match his value, so to speak. So like imagine you have 8s through jacks there. You don't really want to small bet and allow a straight draw or 2 overcards, any pair really to get a good price. So you want to just put in B50 and have a clean SPR1 shove on the turn, and he gets to match that value range with some bluffs that do a really nice job of clearing out equity, having equity when called. So like Jack 10 with a diamond, maybe 10-9 with a diamond if he raises that. King 8, King 9 with a diamond do a really good job, and we saw that King 9 hits the muck, and it's that clearance effect. So much of poker is just equity denial. Seeing another ace four. We saw last orbit that ace four three bet from the small blind versus Ben versus button open, and same thing here. And Golden Seagull thinking about it once again, similar to that Jack 9 spot.
Yeah, man, he's been. It's just crazy. It is scary, right? When it's like the thing about there's this thing about open light 3-bet tight or open tight 3-bet light, or also there's sort of like a momentum thing. I remember A. Jones wrote a kind of memoir and book back in the day. It's about setting that tone and 3-betting early. It's just he's gone just like he's just after it. Like it's tough when you get that rhythm, when you start really putting it in and you have the chips to do it, you start out doing it. It's just like you're almost scared to open, right? It's just like some point, he did come back over the top of the Jack 9 suited, but Ben really has been. This is some of the most 3-betting I've seen at a GGMillion final table today.
Yeah, it's been real interesting.
But he's stacked. He really hasn't got it going. He really has not got it going. It's been kind of hovering between 2 and 2.7. He hasn't ever got above, I think, his starting today.
Yeah, or below potentially too. I could be wrong about that. Definitely could be wrong about that. Not sure. But yeah, this has been fun, man. Gotta say, you do a good job with these shows. You bring the energy. Say, I was wondering, do you still? Clearly, you still love poker, like commentating, podcast, but do you still love playing? Would you say?
I love playing. I do. I'm someone I could play for 60 days in a row every day and love it. I could take off 60 days and not mind. I mean, I do. I love poker. I think it's interesting because I've been fortunate over the years to play in really good home games for a long time. So I think that in some ways is a blessing. In some ways is not the best too, right? In terms of like doing deep dive study and work on your game. You can have a little bit of a warped perception of where you are in the game. But in terms of tournaments, and again, I'm very fortunate too. Some of my best friends in poker and in life are like Brian Rast or Antonio Sfondiari. These guys that, Antonio also, he's not like a GTO guy. Rast maybe was the best all around poker player in the world for a stretch, right? But in the last decade, and now still maybe doesn't play as much, but still great. And I have a sounding board with some other, great players. So I just like, I love to work on my game, but I'll be, I'm not in there doing the GTO wizards and like solver stuff often, but I do talk poker a lot. I do take notes and pick up on. I've done Raise Your Edge course. Talk with Ben about poker. I wish I got talked more with him, but I talk. If I ever have questions or we ever talk, he gives me his insights, and I love it. I think it's fun. I just think it is really a fun thing that you can always get better at, which is cool. So yeah, I love it. I do love poker. I'm also very realistic. If I hop in these poker go or Tritons and stuff, and there are some good value in that, but also I realize like the guys that are like the top 50 100 players in the world that are like, they're just King 7, nice, got the King River and gonna get a big pot there, really nice hand there. You know what I mean? I'm very realistic, and I think that's the thing. Like, you got to understand the levels to it and where you're at. And the guys, there's certain people, it's scary when you know that they've basically seen every spot, they know every sizing, and like they're just gonna have an advantage over you, right? You have to kind of be alert and aware of where you stand with these things and what you're trying to do, and be realistic on it. At the same time, I feel like I could win any event, right? Like, I know I could go to Poker Go and win an event. I know that I'm not the favorite, but I know that I'm capable and able, and I'm not, you know what I mean? So it's good. I think that's important. Ego is so big in poker. Everyone thinks they're the best, and it's important to be realistic on where you stand and what you're doing and why you're doing it, and what you're risking and all that. I think it's important to have that understanding of where you are in your game. So
yeah, absolutely, well said.
But I can hybrid. I'm either I'm a commentator. I can give the color. I can also give some analysis, but I also know exactly. Like, that's the thing. I try to get guests on here that are immersed in great players, like the top guys that can really go a little bit deeper in the analysis and the current trends. But yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun. And final table wise, I definitely feel confident after seeing hundreds of these for sure.
Yeah.
This is, you know, final table, hard to win, hard to close. It's hard to close. It's an art for sure.
Right. See if it comes with jam here. There has to be at least a little bit. I mean, I don't know this guy, but if he's anything but an elite player, there might be some hesitancy to jam when you get snapped off by jacks last time and double them. Have you played at Poker Go at all? Have you ever gotten in there?
Yeah, I've played some streamed shows on there, a few cash game shows, and did that nutcase thing with Ninja and Helmut too recently, and maybe like in the last year. But in terms of tournaments, I haven't played the series and stuff. Sort of against that's sort of happened more recently in the last 5-6 years, where I know it's gotten great, and I haven't played some of those the stuff. But I would like to come for the PLO series coming up. Or the next one. I don't know when it is. Maybe they just had it not too long ago, but I'd like to play one of those in particular.
Yeah, I
you know,
think you'd
you
really
know when the
enjoy
next
it.
one of those are?
What's up?
You know when the next PLO one is?
Was there? I
I
think
thought it
one
was
just
not too
happened.
long ago. They might have just had it a few months
Yeah,
ago or a month ago or two. Yeah.
yeah, it's so good in there. Do you vlog anymore? Do you do that? I mean, it's
A
just
little
like,
bit, a little bit. I did one in the Bahamas. Same thing. I'm not full time. I do have a team like that are local in Miami, so I bring them. We just did the Bahamas one. I just hosted the Daytona 500 charity event. Did a vlog for that, which should be out any day. But doing a lot less. Like it's I don't have like a consistent YouTube vlog out. Which again I give so much respect for it because I did it for so long. Like even the WSOPs a few summers of doing it. It's such a grind. Like even if you have great team, great help, it's like it's tiring. You take away a lot. 7-5. Pedro hanging on today, man. He's not going to go away. 1.5 million pot. You can see 90K for 6. Payout starting to get pretty juicy, pretty big. It just takes a lot of work, and you excuse me, you give away a bit. Like you're just not really fully focused. Like you're missing hands. You're on the side doing stuff. You're at the table. You're not fully present. I think you do sacrifice a fair amount when you're doing that type of stuff, content wise.
yeah, got you. I was gonna say like Poker Go is kind of the dream for it. I experienced that recently. I didn't do exactly a vlog. I did more of a documentary kind of shooting. Had my cousin come over, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong, like doing it in the Poker Go and just being in that private studio setting is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like I didn't have that same level of focus I think I'm usually accustomed to in that same intensity. So I kind of had to learn that, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna be giving up something. So I probably won't be doing that again anytime soon, unless I really just decide to, maybe I meditate for like 30 days ahead of time coming in instead of, coming in just normal and get like super focused. That's an interesting shove by Pedro. I like that one. You're not putting yourself in this weird like raise fold category. I think that it can probably be too easy to raise. I would just say like not find enough shoves in that spot. Don't think there's many shoves in general. It's gonna be like King Jack, King 10, King Queen suited, Queen Jack suited. Some of the pairs, Ace Queen O, Ace Jack O, but it makes perfect sense given the stack distribution. And yeah, I mean, FTs are so fun to me. I find that like FTs are kind of easy. They like come naturally to me. Not to say that, I haven't made my fair amount of mistakes and blunders, but yeah, I don't know, like the stack distribution ideas and outlasting people. It's really quite a fun game and more of the I think chip EV stuff is still not that it eludes me. It's just not as easy as playing FT where ideas are kind of clear. And we've really seen Duco has really pulled away here. He's like 1.7. Oh wow, this is I think that's a hand that like usually doesn't rip. Um, it's again, it's just interesting to see how all these guys are approaching the game. I think that's like Pedro probably thinks Ben is maybe a little bit out of line today and just wants to take the chips rather than, you know, check folding on Queen 9-5 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really, really interesting. Duco just finds all of a sudden, again, 4 titles the most and somehow has the chip lead, how things have broken where it is. He's in the best position here with 6 remaining and has done a good job of just sort of quietly getting there, almost to the point where you couldn't even, just, you know, he just seems to find ways to get it done. That King 7 hand was, he got a nice run out and got a nice pot there. But here we go. Shows us here. King deuce suited just kind of knows how to put the foot on the gas with the right selection, right hands. And these hands, you know, you got to ask yourself, are you making these plays? Are you going to come with the same situation? Are you able to just turn it on where you go into, now I'm chip leader, now this is that, now these are the stacks behind? Because you kind of see this row he's got a pretty good situation here with these stacks and distribution for being aggressive. So he doesn't shove, he just raises here. Ben with the king jack, curious how he's going to handle this because he's sort of in a tight spot, right? ICM wise, there's not 1.9, 1.5, 1 million. He is going to respond with an all in. The difference in that, if Duco had shoved, he would have just picked it up, but maybe a little too much to just shove there in the 3 with the ace 3 off, I think.
Yeah, it's really got to be just a okay. I think that would be a raise. I think it's a hand category kind of thing where like King 2 suited just has a little bit more equity. I mean, that ace 3 you are ripping into 3 people, sure, opposed to 2 with the King 2 suited, but like King 2 suited probably just does a little bit better because the calling range is roughly the same. And I mean, minus having an ace, of course, but that suited equity matters a lot when you're playing a, let's say, a 30 big blind all-in pot. And okay, Golden makes the fold. Wondering if he was just going to get a bit antsy there, stick it in. Yeah, he's in the dream spot here, and again that King Jack by Ben, similar to that Ace 8 by Pedro. By no means like a mandatory rip. Of course, Duco chip leader having a ton of raised folds, but when you do run into it, you're of course just you're not outlasting the 3 guys that you're very similar or ahead of in chips. So yeah, interesting. This one's just gonna rip as well. Maybe considered raise call there. It's kind of the sweet hand, but yeah, I mean rip just seems like the clear option and couple I think good and normal type folds from shooters. This
is
what's that?
Ace 10, you know, Ben not afraid, but I think this is ICM would be a fold, I would say, but with the Ben knowing what, you know, what he's shoving and what he's doing, I think that there's a chance he takes a stand. Although like from an ICM, it has to be probably what, like ace queen suited or something like in that range, ace queen, ace jack suited. I mean, ace 10 off seems a little light, but like he realizes he's gonna have Broadway, he's gonna have weak aces. It's gonna have, I don't know. Yeah, it does. He wanted to call there, but still, it's just a fold, right? Ben knows. It's just, you can know what he's doing. You can whatever. And he happened to have 6s as well. So he actually would have got sort of, wouldn't have been behind, would have been even not just it would have just been behind. And here we go. Ace 10, 4s, and ace queen. Looks like go shove.
Oh, yeah, puts in the 4s. I think it's pretty reasonable because you cover by 2.5, but yeah, it makes a good fold, I think. And gets rewarded because ace
pretty
queen
conclusive flop. Needs a 9. 3 across, 6. that is good night. Good night for Golden. Golden came in though. He was in what, 6th, and he got 6 though. Okay. Nothing too crazy. He had a ride. He made some unpredictable plays. I would say definitely one that where he did a few things that wasn't sure what he would do.
Right. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, there it is.
Jacks, queen nine.
Stick it in.
Pedro, can he find himself up to a very healthy stack? All of a sudden has to fade the river. 88% jacks, got to fade a queen or a nine. One to come. That is a 10, and that is 100 next to Pedro. So we will continue on five-handed. Going to be doing the giveaway at four-handed. Appreciate all those thumbs up, all the subscriptions. 1,700 watching us. Sue, who's going to win? Twitter as well. Jeff Gross Poker. Go ahead and can guess there. Just go ahead and guess. Who do you think wins? Doesn't matter if you're on the right. That won't affect you winning. And I'll put the link one more time. I'm going to drop that in. $50 cash out of my pocket. That is right there. $50 cash. Guess who wins? Retweet. That's it. Guess who wins? Retweet. Link above. And 3 giveaways. We'll start. Once we get to 4, we'll queue it up for the first 50, then 100.
Yeah, so that ace 10 was interesting by Ben because like if he does double, he does take chip lead, but you know, it wouldn't have been like the most commanding position to take. So, yeah, that's one thing about ICM. It's like it's hard to capture the idea of future EV of having a big stack. You know what I mean? Like how much more valuable is our stack when about three big hands here. See a jam. I think probably just small 3-bet and then Casimir is gonna go.
Wow. 3 massive hands, 5-handed here. Ben gonna get out of the way. Kind of crazy that well, actually, I guess he opened got 3-bet already. Not really what he wanted to see. And Casimir also was in command for a bit. Now he's on the kind of low, and Jay Schusterich is gonna put in $1 million more. Still have $1 million if he loses. He is not snap calling, which is interesting. That I don't think you could ever consider folding covering 5-handed after 3-betting. It's 1.1 more. Still have about 900 if you lose.
Yeah, he just knows what I mean, this is Jacks plus ace king. I mean, you can't really fold given your price, then you cover, and you kind of just want to knock the guy out. I mean, if you fold, then okay, we're second in chips. Oh, he does get away from it. That's an interesting one. I guess he just thought he was really strong with that timing, which he was, but I think with I don't know, having enough combos of ace king and getting 2 to 1, you probably just gotta go. But I could be wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not expected.
I made a final table in a WSOP 2.5K like a long time ago. I remember, and I folded 10. It was like similar. It was Adam Black, the Irish guy. Like I opened, he 3-bet me, I 4-bet, and he 5-bet shoved. And I remember it was like 8-handed or 9-handed at the time, and I folded. And I just remember in my head thinking how I played. I didn't like it, but yeah, here 5-handed as played covering. I think I don't know. I don't think you can fold there. But I think I didn't like how I played that hand in particular, 10s to ace king. It's reminding me of that, but that I was covered, and it was also different positions in full ring, maybe 9 or 8-handed. I think it was 9-handed, but I just wish I had just called or not. Like I should have never re-raised and then folded. And he snapped, put it into. I was sure he had ace king, and I still folded. And he did have ace king. But yeah, that was very. Are you like? Do you think how big a mistake is that? Let's put it that way.
With the 10s there?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's potentially not. Like I think it's quite close, but I do think that I mean you're 5-handed. You're playing with all like great players. I think you just gotta try to knock the guy out.
Yeah.
Probably just has ace queen suited too. Like I said, jacks plus ace king. It's not that hard for the guy just to put an ace queen, just decide he's gonna go. And by the way, I just want to say if this gentleman is an elite player and I'm just not aware of it, then sorry, man. You know, Schusterish, he's been doing a lot of clicking and a lot of kind of like sick stuff, you know, through betting the ace four and whatnot. And it's just very possible that he's studied that kind of spot and deduced that hands is just not good enough to go. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I should a mistake or not. I shouldn't even say like that. Exactly. Maybe it's not a mistake. It seems like a slightly, yeah, probably better to put it in there. But again, what we do see, he's just a genius in some ways. If he has the jacks, queens, kings, or aces, I guess. So it's yeah, he definitely doesn't have like fives there, or probably ace jack. So it's like he's either flipping or smoked. I guess that we can say is true.
Yeah, I think he's just proven that he's willing to make big plays. Like he folded that king queen. Okay, he was incorrect there, but like later on he folded sevens in a spot where it's really easy to go broke when you know, Casimir opens up chip lead and he's just sitting there, so it's super easy to just put it in and he folded correctly. So
yeah, he's also ripped it in light. He's ripped it in blind on blind with some hands. He's shown willingness to put pressure, so it's not like he's scared really either. It's so it's yeah, that's true. I think that's a good analysis.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is prime time. This blind level, huh? Yeah, like we got 15 bigs. We got this Ben is gonna have. Well, I don't want to think too far ahead if he decides to bluff his 10 here. So I'll just wait for a moment. But yeah, we're pretty short now, and Duco's chilling. Crazy game, anything can happen. But yeah, it's a really nice spot to be in. So yeah, pretty much three-way tie. Pedro's in the highest risk premium spot, so to speak, against Duco. And then yeah, these three guys are really just trying to ladder. Interesting decision point. And I could see Jan being the best play. I could see limping being the best play. I think it's quite close. But yeah, Pedro's gonna have to call off really tight here. So I think that Jan is just gonna be the best option, probably by a small margin. Can't go risking that second place position when you're just clearly ahead of three players there. And Ben is either gonna half stack or shove here, I think, and yeah, just goes for it all, not messing around. I've made some big mistakes doing that half stack stuff and just get finished, you know. So I had to, you know, learn the hard way.
There's the 3-10 off. Casimir, familiar with the Duco game and what he's up to, but also King 4. I guess it's very close to just realizing how often you're going to get a fold, and then the times you have to weigh in if you rip it and you get called and you're live. So he's going to go with the non-all-in re-raise, which gets the job done as well. Probably a good hand selection to do that.
Yeah, there was that same that Vlad went out with, right? I think the non-all-in 3-bet and the all-in 3-bet were on the table there. He went with the passive option and chip lead pop. Is this it?
Jack Queen to 8s. Ben, 4 mil in the middle versus Duco. Epic matchup. The clean flop turn is a clean 6. 8's in the lead 86% of the time. Gonna have 4.2 million. It is non-paint. That is safe. Had to fade the paint, and he did. And now Ben, who started chip leader, is your chip leader. 5 hands. Kind of amazing how that works. So it reminds me of Ben, started chip leader, was all in flipping 8 left. And he said that was even after the fact. I remember he put a social. He's like, that was like the wildest final table I ever had. He almost went out 8. But like, you know, it's like why when you're chip leader, you kind of can withstand some adversity. And now he was kind of short. Nothing really got working, but the whole time. And now here he goes. Flip, hold, and back to the power of first with 5 left. So pretty interesting final table for Ben. It was really hunkered in, just Ben solid. and stuck around, never really got going, and now he's at his peak at the final table, and he has the lead still, 5-handed. Very tight. It was breaking away, and now we're back to 2 million to 4.5. So 5-handed, about as tight as it can go as well. This is live on a short delay. What's up, Rafael? Any Brazilians out there? Praze 2000 watching on right now. Let us know where you're watching from. Aram Zoblan over in Europe. I'm in the US. You guys are everywhere and around the world. And we have got a giveaway time starting at 4-handed. And the tweet, see a lot of you, Jeff Gross Poker, $50 cash. Just hit the retweet. Guess who wins? I'll give away 50 for you. I'm going to start looking at that now so we get that at the end of the show. I like to do that before I leave. Start already going through it. Again, it doesn't matter if you get it right. You don't need to wait to see who wins. Just guess. And then if you guess wrong, you still could win. It's a random pick by me. King Queen suited for Ben. That flop seemed to demand and deserve more. At the same time, he has a winner. If he can hold on, 9, 10, 10, 3, 3. King high, actually. I mean, he might be. He doesn't have the greatest cards for bluff catching, though, right? He's got the spades, a queen, but I don't know. Let's see. Is Duco gonna go for it? He's got basically the worst hand he can have. Plays the board.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty difficult spot to bluff. At least for like a big size. Ben's gonna play in a way where he's just probably see better range and then ends up checking a bunch of his, over pairs on the turn. Does find the call.
Bravo.
Very nice. Yeah, what a legend. Let's see if he can get that. It would be his second title, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second title, 97 entries.
Huge, the 5K main last August, right? Or a little later, I guess. Streamed the thing.
And 9-10, just gonna call. Nice hand. I mean, has a great flop potential. Does ace queen suited, flops ace king 5, rainbow, pretty nutty here. And there was 143 entries. So we are down to 5, and Casimir gonna just whiff that hand. Pretty frustrating. And king 8 versus king 8. Ben with 5.3 all of a sudden. Gonna get out of the way. Nice hand, suited and in position. Ace king. Pedro also kind of had a roller coaster ride. Finds himself healthy here, 5-handed. And second, a matter of fact, at the moment, 3.1 million, but very tight across the board. Casimir now sort of, things are moving fast. Guys are playing fast. And yeah, we see Pedro with a nice hand here. Queen 10 suited. Just call, club draw, and a queen 10 both live. Ace 9 off. Ben with the best hand, but work cut out for him. And come bet in. Pedro certainly playing king out there. Doesn't really make sense to check raise, right? Don't have an over flush draw potential. Queen high just call. Now hits the queen. Pretty good card for him and is a winner at the moment. Ace 9 drawing thin.
Yeah, it's kind of that like middling equity. Ooh, brutal run out for Pedro. Middling equity where you don't really fold out that many better hands, and you'd rather just have the 5-4 clubs to check raise. Rather have the 8-6 of clubs that has interaction, and it's really a game of just folding out better hands when you're selecting check raises and playing against the button. You're still ahead of a lot of queen 9 offsuits, jack 10 offsuits, jack 8 offsuits, so on and so forth. So by check calling, it's just allowing him to potentially blast off on clubs and keeping a lot of bluffs in.
How big a deal is it to Ben on this river with the 9 of clubs and the bet or not in the size, or is that really not much of a factor? I mean, Pedro doesn't love having the missed clubs. He has a queen. This run out's pretty ridiculous. River actually was in amazing shape, but how much does that matter for Ben to have the 9 of clubs when he bets here, like the size?
For Ben, I don't think it should matter. Feels like a pretty clear just value bet.
Because actually, if Ben missed clubs, though, he would probably. That's not usually a good bluff to bluff, right? When you bluff the river, if you have the missed flush draw.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat like it's kind of a nice card in the fact that and there it is. You make it a little less likely that your opponent missed a flush draw and more likely they have showdown in the form of a king or maybe like a queen jack with the jack of clubs, something like that. Should call the flop. I think we'll see jam here, but okay.
Wow.
Just yeah, call makes some sense. It was kind of similar to what I was saying earlier. But gets the worst of it, would have taken it down. But I mean, you can't fault him when the stacks are this close. And
Yeah, Duco's got that sort of unpredictability in him, right? Just that he just really does. He's got that gear to just rip it and kind of go off the multiple choice. Not that that was like an insane rip there, but just he does have the push factor. He seems to really thread the needle and go for it. And a bit of a function of his 4 wins on his 16 final table is pretty high percentage. Some variance,
yeah, I mean,
course, but definitely plays a intense style and an aggressive style.
He did just defend 7-6 offsuit the orbit before, which to me, at least to my eyes, seems a bit loose. So for eights in that spot, it seemed natural that he would be all in, considering just how he approaches the spot of, okay, I'm covered by a lot, but I'm gonna or at least covered and gonna defend 7-6 offsuit and check raise that 10-9. Actually, was he covered? I apologize if he wasn't. It at least was close, and yeah, I think that one would fold. So it was kind of a conservative flat there. Not that it was super crazy or anything, but yeah.
I'm not sure on the. Let's see, ace 5, ace 2 suited here. Yeah, this is not sure either. This is interesting. This has been a super interesting final table. I feel like it generally is that way, but today just it never, no one really ever separated much. Ben now emerging here. Pedro debating, does he have full equity? These 2 suited. Also, what is Casimir opening? How wide is he open?
Mhm.
He's really thinking about this one.
Yeah, I wonder if he's thinking about 500K or all in here. 500 fold.
Wow.
I think at this point, you might be less likely to go 500 just because, I don't know, everyone's been playing pretty fast, right? And Pedro included, so maybe he gets played back more often if he were to just do the min click there. And yeah, nice jam. All right, are we all in? Are we making a tightish fold? Are we raise full in? This one's tricky.
Yeah, seems all options on the table, but aggression rewarded.
Yeah, I kind of love these spots because it's like you're shoving for 9 bigs and you're shoving for 20. So it's like a math problem. You're shoving like 15 on average, but your worst case scenario is pretty bad. And here he's probably thinking about jam actually because he covers those 2. He showed that jam earlier with the king queen suited. I'm gonna guess he's gonna like half stack, and yeah, just get away if 2 people get all in, and here we go, big all in on the way.
Possible giveaway here. Ace queen though, favorite. Getting the 4-handed, we'll cue that up. Ace queen, he's thinking, but I don't know what much you could think about. That's too much hand to give up. He is going to put it in, and king 10 to tax. He's so dangerous. Sweat, got a little sweat. Is it going to be extra sweat? No, 93% needs that queen on the river. And one was not available as he had a queen. And there we go. We'll continue. 5-handed. Even everything kind of out again. We
See,
are
putting up the tilt. I mean, that is quite tilting. Just the distribution is so brutal right now.
yeah. Ben really has a nice spot, but again, it's okay, he's gonna limp.
Yeah, interesting. I think a lot of players would just play like raise with everything there, and I think it's an okay strategy, but limping seems okay as well. I'm a little surprised he didn't stab this flop. $240.
Oh yeah, he's shooting us. Wow.
Wow. He's really mixing it up in a lot of ways today. I guess if you check raise there, that looks pretty strong. And
Yeah.
you captured that out of something like a 3 or a 2, and you put a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah, there's the big bet. That one felt right. I like that.
Yeah, no more checking. But if
Well
he just
played.
had the king 7, he'd probably be not too happy with that one. I mean, maybe not. I mean, he took his line and he liked it, but
There's a
it'd be a little
shove.
frustrating. I think.
Shoving it in. Just things now. He's got the fun. They say it's not blowing the bun, he's got the gun. He is now on track to 6 mil, and he is over double seconds. Got a bunch of stacks combined, right? Like 3, yeah. Most of the guys, he's got almost 50% play. And here's another. This guy Casimir has got to start taking it personal a little bit, but this is again just this time has it. It's just so convenient. You know, Casimir in his head, he's open. He's like, all right, all right, I'm gonna get one through. Ben's got to slow down, and then somehow he just has it. You just in the moment you feel like you're getting picked on, for sure.
Yeah, disciplined fold there. I mean, he just knows better that it's not going to be enough equity, but you give him the suited wheel there, and it's game on. And just going to be an easy shove here for Pedro. Don't know if he's going to want a half stack here, but yeah, he just goes ahead and does it. Yeah, ace 4 is going to be too weak, and a huge pickup. Yes, he gets a walk. No limping about this game this time. Maybe the amount that he covers by, he feels it's just too much to ever be limping. Close to that 10-4.
Kings. Yeah, Jay Schusterich has one there. He's going to be thinking to himself that 10 spot, right? That could have been the whole makeup of this final table is different. That would have been a big swing at the time. Maybe knocks out Casimir, wins the flip. Would have been cruising. Instead, now he's sort of short. I mean, he's still right there, right? There's basically Ben and everyone else right now. Very, very similar stacks. And we'll see how it plays out. We never would know what would have happened, but at the moment, he's he hasn't by any means separated himself. He is, though, basically tied for second here. Really tight, though.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where if you go up 5th, there's gonna potentially be some regret there. But if you get 2nd, you're like, man, am I glad I didn't flip there, right? If you end up winning.
Yeah, Ben
He's just he's immune to it though, and he doesn't care. And if it was like, I mean that if it was a losing play to call, it's still got to sting a little bit that he didn't flip. Unless he's just, really focused on being a great player and not caring about anything other than that.
Nice pickup, the jack 8 off. Just got it done there. Important pot. Keep in the mix. Don't want to get too short in this little dynamic of what's happening here. And this is interesting though, because the ace-4 suited first in for 12 blinds, and king queen, pretty nice hand in the big blind. Might get to not be participating though.
Yeah, are we gonna see the flip after the folded flip?
I don't think if the guy folded tens in that scenario, it's a little different. It is, but this is still also like, this is this time for all your chips. The ICM is so high. I can't imagine based on that fold, he would put it in here.
Yeah, I think it's probably a fold just from what I've studied and seen. It's almost like a king queen almost has this like, I don't know, it's like a mirage in a way. It feels better than what it is, because in that spot, obviously he has queen jack O shoving and he has king jack O, but the offsuit combos really crush you in the fact that all the aces are there and all the big one.
Yeah, big one for sure. Casimir, the shortest of the remainder right there. Now he is needing a jack as the ace arrives. Ben, can he close out a knockout? Put us in the giveaway land with 4 left. On the river, needs a jack. Not going to be Casimir. So sick. And there is Jay Schuster. Already run Schusterstein. Schusteristic. I don't know how to pronounce it. We can say any of that. Jay Shu, we'll call him, is still in 4 left. And now he at least has to stew a little bit less about that tens fold. He is in the final 4. He's locked up a nice payout, and we are going to get the giveaway rolling here. 235. You already hit the thumbs up. 2,000 watching. Appreciate you guys and girls. Play into a winner. Don't worry. Ben with 9.4. He has well more than all the chips. He's got a lot of chips. So we got 1.9, 3.3, 5.3 to 9.4. Ben stack versus everyone else.
Is he doing a dance around the room right now? Like he's tanking.
He's doing a little something. Doing some burpees, I think. Just taking a little. He's got a time clock to work to burn, making sure he did that. Studying Mandarin as well, and doing multiple things. He's got chips. He's cruising.
Hopefully, didn't actually time out.
Yeah, that's. Jeez, it says away right now. Duco, ace jack, nice hand, 4-handed. All right, giveaway time.
Well, yeah, he actually did. Do you see that? I guess it's great timing because you got the ace 10 in there. Okay.
Yeah.
It's back.
All right, we're getting the giveaway right now. Putting it in. There it is. Keyword for a $50 GG ticket. It is GGWSOP space Zobian space. Insert your GGPoker username. There you go. $50 giveaway. Also the tweet. I'll put the link one more time. We'll do it last time for you guys. Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. Copy link, $50.
Brutal for Mr. Schuster. Gonna have to get lucky.
Ace jack, ace queen. Ben, can he just do it? Are we gonna be down to 3 to the turn? Clean river, J or J only, or a 4, right? To chop. It is a 10, 100% with the 10 green in green, 100%. That is it. GG's all around. The Greg goes all in, and there it is. 11 mil to 3.6. Ben at home. The Vegas odds are strong for Ben right now. I'll tell you that. They are looking good. He is. You have him, right? That's your pick. You got first pick. You just snagged them. We should have flipped today.
Ben's my guy.
That is,
AD couldn't come back from 10,000 chips. I don't know how, but it looks like Ben's just gonna have to pull it off.
Wow. Ace 3, 10-8. Ben shipping it. There's the ace 3. This could be heads up, man. We got to get these giveaways rolling. This could be a Pedro. ICM is strong here. Ace 3 off, though. Knows going to be the best hand the majority of the time, but do you want to risk it calling off? I think you still got to go here. Yeah, ace 3. It's an ace. It's a head.
Yeah, you can't.
It is.
You can't fold.
Can't fold that. Ace 3 pairs at 10-8 with 5 outs, though. Needs the 5-outer one to come about 11.5%. King, double, Pedro in the mix. Pedro Neves, Duke O'Haven fighting a good fight. They've got 3.25 million to 10. Ben's got 2/3 of the chips in play, 3-handed. And we got the giveaway running. You guys must click the thumbs up, must hit subscribe. Appreciate all of the people engaged today. Bringing the A game, the tweet. We're going to get that rolling too. I'm going to get that. I want to get that done. We can do that 3-handed. It's going fast to the action. Can't really do both here. About 30 people eligible for that giveaway. Reading them. King, deuce, ace, 9, 8. Ooh, a couple of real hands here. What percent of the time does Ben win this? He's got 2/3 of chip, 3-handed.
Maybe, well, it really depends how this hand goes, but before this hand, maybe 70-75% of the time.
Well, ace 9 to 8s, ace pairs, Pedro to be heads up, could be officially in the heads up. Got to hit the 8 or else we are heads up with Pedro. The drama, it's a heart. That is meaning clean. 10, 4 across, GG. Picking the winner for the 50. We're going to get the $100 ticket queued up here. And that is a nice score. 189 for Duco. Not going to get his 5th title, but he will take home a 19 buy-in day as Kings to 6-9. Ben has a almost 2-1 lead. But as we know in heads up, that's not a ton. And they got some playability here. All right, I'm picking.
You have Pedro?
I believe so. I do. Yes, because you took Ben. He was second. I took Pedro. So we got ourselves a dinner sweat. No guarantee. I don't mind losing a dinner. I'd rather Ben win. That's my homie. But also Pedro seems like a cool cat, and they both have one title. So we will have a second time GGMillion champion put themselves in that next category of elite. Of status of legend. I think we got to get the trophies printed out for these two, man. I've submitted that. I think that we're gonna hopefully be doing that.
Yeah,
you should get a trophy for winning the GGMillion, right? I mean, you should get one. I think it's a word.
You're saying you're actually gonna get trophies going?
Like for the GGMillions, I think that's been submitted as a strong suggestion. I think that should be a. You got to have it, right? If you win it, you win in 11 Arthur, you have a trophy case. Oh my goodness. 6-9, definitely going to be calling. I think there is flushes, straights, but as played, the running 6-6, I think you're not playing this as a fold, right? I guess he's tanking, and there's the call, and there's 10 million to 5. So it is a complete switch.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Oh, by the way, what a comeback. After the ace jack hand, Pedro had, I think, 600K. That ace jack to 7s, Kula.
Wow. 10-4, but a lot of poker left. All right, we're going to pick the first winner for the 50 because the 100, I mean, we got to get the 100 going as well. Let's see. All right. First $50. You guys don't need to keep spamming it. Put it once, twice max. Let's see. $50 winner. There it is. At Leonard's. All right, $100 ticket coming up. Ace 6, Ben takes it down. 5.5, 9.4. Things switched. Decent size heads up match today. They're playing for 82, 81, something like that. A little over 80 Gs. Just casual 8 buy-ins heads up as We see the 7-9 going to work, trying to get the Jack-9 to fold. He is going to check raise the Jack-9 with the heart. There's some spice. Leonard, you will get a ticket put in your GG account. Nothing for you to do. You already did that. You could try to win the 100. Be pretty impressive to win 2 in a row. Same day, 2100 on King 9, Queen Deuce. Queen makes the pair. King with the gut shot over to the Queen. Ben's going to start betting. Well, that's a problem. If you misspelled your GGPoker username when you put it in, that's a tough break. But I will make a note and put it, see if they can fix that for you. Imagine winning the giveaway and typing in your screen name wrong and not getting it. That would be pretty tough. King gonna river for Ben. It's an emotional game, heads up. It's emotional. No guarantees.
Yeah, you got hanged tough.
2 to 1 is just not.
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just no guarantees. I mean, you know what I mean? It's 2 to 1 is a very small lead. Very small. You can see that's already flipped.
Ben with a cool hand selection here.
And it's clicked and he's going to go away. Ben's showing a lot of aggression today. Good by him. He started. These are the two guys that started 1 and 2, 68-61 blinds to start. So they both did their job, made it to the end here. Now it's sort of a battle of attrition. Who's gonna run hot? Who's gonna play, make the extra step? Ben's definitely been aggressive today. He's gonna call, gonna pair the 9-9-10-4 rainbow, ace king. It is heads up poker. Still gotta feel okay. And the 10 on the turn. Ben gonna feel a little better.
Yeah, he's pretty much trapping when he checks. I mean, he's gonna have in the check call line, he's gonna pretty much have a hand good enough for everything on a blank run out. So he's just gonna big bet and shove rivers, considering it's blank, and Pedro's gonna be in a really tough spot. He definitely has to call at least one. Can't go folding. Oh, makes a nice fold. I stand or sit corrected. But yeah, there is kind of a lot of potential bluffs there.
Well, just constantly surprised. Ben,
Yeah.
man, he is two-stepping out here. Maybe did do some burpees. He's fired up. He's got the blood flow and he's going to step into it again. It's actually kind of unlucky, right? The aggression heads up normally is just going to work and going to have your opponent with not much to play with, but he's ran into like top of range pairs and better hands. So far going to go Pedro's way, but not over. Pedro looking to get that second title in 3 final tables. Ben looking for a second in 19. And Queen 10.
Just a couple gentlemen playing a 70K heads up match.
Yeah, we got your right username. Let's get the $100 ticket going, by the way. Queen 10 King Deuce is going to be awarded to Pedro. $100 ticket now. $100 GG ticket giveaway. Give me a keyword, Aram.
Keyword?
Yeah.
Vitality.
Vitality. Ooh. Okay, let's do that. So we'll go GG, WSOP, Vitality, and then enter your GGPoker username. And don't need to do it more than once. If you want to do it twice for good luck, go ahead, but do not spam it. If you are a spammer, going to say you're unlikely to win because we'll have the team make sure not to do that. So there it is. $100 GG ticket giveaway. Keyword GG WSOP. space vitality, space insert your GG Poker username. Pedro 12 million to 3. What is that? 4-1 lead? 4-1, right? 3 million, 3 million. Yeah. 4-1, 15 million.
Yeah, right around there.
In a situation
See if
now.
you can flip it.
Can he get back in? There is a bunch of people looking for that giveaway. 2,100 on. Must be subscribed. Must hit the thumbs up. Must have great energy. All things are must. Get it done. Good luck out there. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Not over yet. We got a battle here. 80 stacks of cheese on the line and the title. An elusive second. Both players have had one before, but you know how it is. Like winning a Grand Slam, winning NBA Finals, Super Bowl. Big difference between 1 and 2. Big difference between,
for sure. I was gonna say, like, I had recently was I think a $777 mystery bounty on the WSP.com skin, and had the guy like 3-1. He took the chip lead, retook it, had them all in 3 times, lost all 3 for a WSP ring and some money difference. It's always a big difference psychologically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also to close it out. It's hard too sometimes, right? It's exactly like you get it in, you're flipping, or you get it in nice, and then it doesn't work, or it just doesn't work out, and then it's just like you just don't want to pull the trigger. Wow, this is interesting. So limps the king. Yeah, it's just hard to close. Just need to actually get it done to actually win and end it. And flush draw versus kings here, and whoa.
Yeah. Man, by the way, I'm happy my Wi-Fi held up today. It was a kind of a gamble. So yeah, also thanks for having me on, and that happy we didn't cancel. Just always super grateful for these little things.
Well, I appreciate the time. I know it's late over there, and we been trying to get this done for a while, so that's amazing that we are getting it, and we are here towards the end here. As kings as played, man, can you really fold here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, yeah, you don't limp in and get checked down and then just like lose to the 5x basically. There are 4 deuce. Yeah. Just like, I guess you could, or an ace, but you probably would have raised the ace. So kind of have the nuts there. Pedro gets the max 13 mil to 1.6. I mean, it's not over. If anyone can fight back, it's Ben. He knows how and knows how to play short, and he's still got 10 blinds. So not over yet.
Yeah, 10 blinds, and probably gonna win this one. Definitely get back in there.
Queen 10, Jack 5 does pick up outs.
Yeah, I wonder if he goes.
Well, Queen 10, it goes from being like pretty strong hand to being a little worried, although the Jack Jack 5 has a key card. Does he want to bluff it? Put it to the test for the last one he does it.
Yeah, I don't think Ben's going to be in a folding mood.
Yeah, he does. He has a 10.
Yeah,
probably not, but at the same time, the king's bad. I guess is he going to shove a king though as played, and it's like either the ace, you block Jack 10. It's hard to make pairs, let alone straights, and hold them. But I mean, all as played. Yeah, Ben. I mean, look, he just limped kings. Could be limping strong. Ben's in the tank. He is going to call. Welcome back, Ben. 3.6 million. Not over till it's over. 3.5. Nice call. Nice hand. Ace, queen suited, king 5 here.
Yeah, I'm going to give some back, but really nice call, and didn't take that much time to do it. I think he's just going to give him enough of that hand class, the 10-4 offsuits and the Jack 5 offsuits and stuff. And it's, yeah, you mentioned the king. Like, does Pedro take a hand like king 7 for 3 streets? Probably not. So he is just repping an ace or better and really like 2 pair or better because he shoves a lot of the ace X free flop. So, yeah, nicely done.
Induce ace jack.
Yeah. See if he goes shove or induces. If he goes induce, I think these offsuit ones. We were playing a small ante, so I think like if you're playing live and you're playing big blind ante, you just gotta shove and take the chips. But I mean, you don't get 1.1 extra when you shove.
Wow.
900 extra, I should say.
I gotta say, the aggression level Ben is showing today has been off the charts though. He's really been active like pre-flop. And honestly, his timing's been really unfortunate too. He's ran into a lot of hands. Like even here, heads up, it's like he's running into like top range.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah, it goes to show, I mean, why he's one of the best online players of all time, and just he's been in the game forever. He's willing to make the big play, and he's willing to be wrong and just play the game. So yeah. And what a career Pedro is looking to have, you know, bright future ahead of him for sure. And this is gonna be all in, you know. Going to gamble. Oh, okay. Surprised. I think you probably couldn't call the 9-8 there. I could be wrong. Just live luck.
So he's down to 5.5 blinds, 100, 200. Yes, 6 now. What's he got? 7 blinds. 7 blinds, 8 blinds. He's got 1.4. 7 blinds, yeah. In the big blind. Definitely not the dream spot, but you know, still it's a big gap, big difference here.
This is close, but I think it's got to be a call. I've been wrong so many times today. You got 8 high. You can just end it, man. You remember when Snap Shove first came out? He showed out Max. Was it Max over?
Yes.
I wonder what Snap Shove says.
What is that? Is that 310 to first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I misspoke. It is because I was looking at a sheet note, which was different. So we were playing for, is that 60? Oh, here we go. Ace 8, 8, 9. Ace 8 dominating to be back in again. 8, 9 needs help. Sweat turn, no. River needing the 9, or we will continue. Heads up play. It is a ace. So just in case, got the ace. Held it. So it's I'm sorry. So 58K heads up match. I was reading it correctly from the show.
68.
Oh, is it 18? Is it 18?
It's 242
50, it's 68. 50, I'm sorry, 58 and 10. You're right. Okay, I can't see on my. It's a little bit blurry here. 68,000. So
yes.
almost seven buy-in.
It's been a bit blurry for me as well. I wonder if that's my connection, but
it's actually clear on the YouTube chat in our stream thing. I think it's a little bit blurry, but there we go. So that's what we're playing for. No deal making. These boys are gonna play it out.
Yeah. You can't make a deal on this one, can you?
Nope.
Gotta play.
All natural. GG. For the GG millions, there's no deal making. And that tweet, I see a bunch of people making their guesses and retweets. Gonna have a winner for 50 cash. Queen 5, 10-7, top pair, queen kicker. Check back. These boys, no one wants to give this away. They are playing some poker even on the short stacks.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben.
And if you're Pedro, you're like, man, why couldn't you just bet there? Just have the easiest check raise. Then not giving any more chips there. Very nice. Kind of an awkward one. Not great visibility, you could say. Like, even if you have the best hand, it's not like you can call down as a bluff catcher. But having 2 overs to the 4 over to the jack and backdoor straight draw seems reasonable to check call one.
Ben just seems hard to remove from it. You know, even at this stat, I feel like he's still in it with this 2 million to 12, 13. It just seems like he's not. You know what I mean? He seems nimble on the stacked up.
Right.
Here he goes playing.
I do. I wonder how like often Pedro actually wins if both players play perfectly, like what the ratio is. It might be lower than we'd suspect.
Mm-hmm. Well, 7-9 improves, was already ahead. Ben with queen high here. Queen high actually not the weakest hand in this spot as played. I mean, for that bet though.
Yeah. I was gonna say it might be hard to fold that one, but just not fold.
7-4 suited, ace deuce. All in. 7 high won't call. Just enough. Got some fold equity. Still, they are fighting. The boys are battling. They are absolutely battling. This is not over yet. There's the limp. Pedro going to be limping. Ben going to be shoving, and we'll continue on. $330 plus thumbs up. $100 giveaway TBD will be announced shortly. Gonna gear that up. Ace 10. You know this, Aram. I've said it 1,000 times on here, hundreds of times, and you know it probably. You know, are you a nickname guy? You know all the sheet. You know the name for the computer hand heads up.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Like Queen 7-0.
Queen 7 offsuit. That's right. That's one of those ones. If you play heads up, you got to know where you stand. Like here, King 5 above, Queen 7 off, 9-3 suited not. King 5.
I like hearing the old school poker stories of like them thinking Jack 10 suited is like better than Ace King, and like just like Negreanu would talk about them like running the cards out like over and over and over, and that's their computer. That's their solver. Sounded so brutal.
This is a nasty turn. King 6-6-9 jumps ahead of so many hands. Gonna fold.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's something else.
What?
He just folds.
How do you fold there though? Seriously, that's crazy.
I know that's he's been super locked in a lot of different spots.
Potato quality there is.
You don't get the all in here, you know.
Ooh, think he's gonna shove, and this is gonna be on their backs. 57 seconds time bank is what he's gonna limp. Okay, interesting. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, good instincts, I guess.
Or is it? Or was it ending? Does he just put it in and finish it there? You know, Queen 3 behind slightly.
It's one of those. I mean, it's like when you limp, you keep in 4 cents, and when you shove, you're not really getting called by worse. So like, if the difference between limp and shove is really small, then or just like potentially just worse to shove, then yeah, you just limp.
Yeah, but maybe let's like 7-8 suited shove there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's the danger. 6-5 suited, and even maybe like a Queen 2 offsuit or something that would have folded.
Queen 6 suited, the Robbie, Jack 4. She's been a guest here. Can't call it off. 12 million to 2.85. 12 and change. King 5, Ace 7. Ooh, this for 10 blinds.
This is gonna stop, right?
And that will be called. Ace 7 to be back to less than 2-1. Can it hold Ace 7? Benjamin Rolle. 7 on the flop. Each player making a pair. King 5 needs 5 outs now. One time. We're in that 88.64% spot. Again, river is clean. Ben from the depths battling. That 9-3 turn fold is absurd. He was locked in the full matrix right now. And he is in there competing. These boys want a title. They started 1-2. They're going to end 1-2, but will it be ending 2-1 or 1-2? Jacks to King Jack. Hello. This is problematic for Pedro. Ben, who has been super aggressive on the light 3 bets, makes it smaller this time. Maybe a little exploit here, right? If you're Pedro, this is interesting to make it that small. It's going to lock him in. And now the Jacks has a fantastic situation. King Jack got no flush draw, straight draw, just needs a straight up king. And Pedro is not loving how this is developing. Gonna call again. 4 million.
Yeah, we're gonna be even here. Wow.
Ben's got to feel pretty good about this board. Not too many 6x has played. He was a limp and then a call. His 3-bet. His 3-bet was small, but he is just going to go for it all.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting turn card there. Makes a fair amount of sense to just shove. Called by an 8 or a 9. Queen up some 7x, a7, and king 7 suited and stuff. We got a new chip leader. An interesting decision. Call and hope he bluffs on cards like this. Good raise, get some king and queen highs to fold.
8-10 has the Nutter Butters.
I think this is one of those mixes, Jeff. Like, you can do everything here. And nothing would be wrong, technically, because you have the nuts.
King Queen Deuce 10.
Yeah, good discipline there. No like frustration. 10 deuce off, raise it up.
No momentum shoves. I actually had a friend at a cash game the other day sent me a clip. Someone wrote that. I said that on Twitch like 7 years ago. I said this thing like momentum shove. Like I was heads up in a PLO event. I just like shove, or I forget what it was. I just like randomly like shove like a crazy hand, and I call it momentum shove. And someone like referenced that recently. But yeah, no, there's no tilt. There's no. This is just constructed, dialed in play here. Gonna take it up to a chip lead again for Ben, and this is a big board. Both players here are much involved with it, and a river clean 7 is still ahead for the 7-4 versus king 6. King 6 suited, big board to miss out there.
Yeah, I think Ben's still feeling really good about his hand. So like 9 would raise the turn a fair amount. Better hand than his on the flop would be betting. And Pedro thinking about shoving maybe. Wow.
High level stuff. Ben, he's got the winner. Can he hunker in with it? He's got a 6 blocking the straight. He has the 7 blocks 2 pairs. Head top pair. Does a 9 make sense? What river? He's gonna fold. He's gonna fold high level stuff. Great bluff there.
Wow.
Missed the diamonds.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna call.
Oh.
Not repping all that much, but I don't know. Pedro plays well. Like we saw him mixing a lot of wrapping in different lines, so can't necessarily just say doesn't have this hand or that hand.
Three, four, A7. A7, nice to flop top and bottom. The missionary has got it. 3-4, gonna be betting into the goods here. Just closing his eyes. Board developing. Ben, does he just want to relinquish this one? He does. Board gets a little dynamic more, so but still A7 a monster. here. Got to bet, right? Good check back turn. Got to figure opponent's going to be checking back. So maybe they walked in and signed. There is straights, flushes. It is heads up. 2 pair huge. Top. Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
lots of get called by there. And
good enough 2 pair.
it's not good enough to check raise. Check hoping he bluffs something like really low cards like he had, but yeah, seems normal. Was just bet there. Now Fedor can choose to check again. He can go big.
Wow. Pretty frustrating run out for Ben. Queen 5 going to get the value, get it to bet, protect, value all of it, and both kind of the diamond combo draws missing there. Both times for each player with king high flush draws. Both didn't make a flush or a pair, but difference. Pedro got to get to actually bluff it all in here. Jack 7 and 8-4, pretty big flops. Both players hitting pairs, and now a flush. Jack 7 has a key heart. I will announce. I forgot. We gotta get the $100 just in case this could be over. You never know. Could be over in one hand. I was gonna do it down the show, but I'll do it right now. And we're over 350 thumbs up. That feels like a good number to do the $100 ticket at. And the winner is going to be.
Guess this could be it.
Jack 7. I mean, a 7 with a heart. Oh, it seems a little light. I guess he does have a key card. I don't know. That seems, I guess, yeah, it's a little lot going on there. I think to call off here, but yeah, it wouldn't be crazy. He does fold.
Yeah, it's just a lot of like 6x, 9-9-3 with the heart, single heart hands.
All right, there it is. $100 winner. It's me, Mario. GG name 13. Lack White. There you go. $100. There it is. I got the one remaining giveaway is the tweet, $50. Jeff Gross Poker. I'll put the link there for those of you that haven't been here for the whole time or haven't seen it. I'll give you last chance. $50 cash for that. Last one. King 4, Queen 9. Last giveaway out of the 3 today. 50 and 100 on GG ticket given. $50 cash on Twitter. That is the last giveaway eligible. Appreciate all of you today. 2,170 people watching right now. Who's going to get it? This has been quite a heads up. This is rare to see a battle like this. We've seen flip-flop several times all the way down to the felt, basically, and then back up, and then now Pedro back in the lead. So they've really yo-yoed here. This is one of the more epic heads-up battles we've seen. 6-8 high, 3-9 with the pair. 4 comes. Ben, does he want to be bluffing? Yeah, he's got a 6. He's got 2 overs to the 3. He's got no spades. Pedro is in there and certainly not folding on the deuce, 3. 4, a little scary. That card is pretty nice. You now have effectively the nuts, and do you slip it over as played? Probably. You probably slip it over, right? I don't know. Or do you, would your opponent just check back some stuff? Maybe not. Maybe you got to bet it. All right, bet induce. The bet induce.
Yeah, advantage kind of thing. Check call twice. You just have no thumbs down. Yeah, you just have so much equity when you reach that spot.
Again, Ben, blinds have gone up. Ben's still with around 10 blinds, a little over 11 and change, 12-ish, 8-3 off. He has attacked frequently here. He does not. 8-3 off, deuce 5. One of the benefits of limping in these type of situations, you get to just bet a blind and going to get a lot of folds within there, the worst hand. So, again, both players seem to really play well heads up and recognize stack depth and what they're doing. 19 seconds on the clock for Pedro. Could come into play if Ben can get back into the game yet again. Getting down. Both players with not amazing hands here. Gonna shoot it up. And Pedro takes it down. Big lead again. Jack 6, 6-9 suited going to continue to limp. And now Jack 6 suited does check that one back too. You're not eliminated if the time bank goes to 0. You just have you have 5 seconds per street to act. So that is what is at stake. And Ben this time is going to call the Jack 6 suited. Pedro, slow down here. No equity turn. Six nine checks it, gives it up. Jack 6 stuck in there.
Yeah, kind of felt like he wanted to just shove.
Yeah, saw that before. This is now up to 150-300. We are officially, I believe, 3 hours on the dot, maybe 3 hours and 5 minutes on the dot right now. So 3-hour show in the books here. Gonna keep on going. We got the 2 winners announced. I got the retweet giveaway available for you guys, and I am gonna pick that as well. So a bunch you did today. Oh wow, what a ridiculous amount of engagement. You guys at Legends out here. We got a legendary chat. We got new people. We got a lot of familiar faces, and we got Aram Zoblan, who did November. I want to say November 9. Just final table of the main. I keep saying November 9, but it was 2018. That November 9 was long gone, but he took, I believe, 6th or 5th for 1.8 million, and also has won a bracelet online and plays some of the highest stakes in the world. And he has been locked in. Another bluff. These guys are tough, man. I'll tell you what. I would be these guys. They know what's going on. They're just so locked in. It's just like a matter of who's going to be more locked in on any given hand as another post-flop hand. Ben's really, they're battling.
Wish it was November 9, Jeff. Man, that's exciting.
Oh, you were mentioning the no break is crazy. Like 1 day break is insane for the final table, but like just playing in, is that one the only year they did that? They must have changed that because that is
the only year they did that, and that was the last year was on ESPN, which is that ESPN footage was the best.
Yeah, 8
Let's
seconds
see what
left.
GG does with it though, you know.
No, they got I saw the set they had at the Bahamas was insane, and it looks super cool. I mean, there's some of their what they pride. This has got to be on their backs. Where else is it going to go? Can Ben do it again? Start of the day chip leader, Pedro in second, again all in for the title. 7 slightly ahead. They're flipping 9 on the flop, 10 on the turn. Ben, 2 outs, 1 to come. River card 6. That is not over yet. We are going that this is like a heavyweight fight, man. Blow for blow, pound for pound. Here comes a shove. Queen 5 not going to call, right? So that's that. We are going to continue along. Wow. I almost stepped away to use the restroom about 30 minutes ago, and I was like, it's heads up. Not going to do it. I'm going to finish it out. Now we're really in here, and now I don't know what we're rooting for anymore at this point. You're going to limp the A6 suited. Wow. Queen 3. That's a little high tech trappy off this stacked up. The A6 suited though, like it's sort of like a trap, but maybe just want to rip it, get it in, and it works out.
Yeah, the suited one. Let's flip, and the offsuit shows playability thing. I've been locked in, Jeff. I haven't left the seat in 4.5 hours. I think it is something like that. It's been fun.
6.
Maybe 3.5. Oh man.
Wow.
Man.
Thought that was honestly that the 5-minute break. No, there is on the thing, but we start we do the reason there's no breaks is it starts like 45-minute delay or 40, and then they just taper it down, so we don't actually watch the break, but these players do get a break on the hour, just like any online tournament. They do that. Yes. A question for me about how often I stab ace 3, king 9. All right, well, hold that thought. Ace 3 in the lead. King 9 is live. There's a 9 and an ace. That means that there's a king. Wow, 81% Ben all of a sudden for 6.4 in the middle. The river card is an 8. Ben is back. This is just going to keep going. The question is, wow, wild stuff. Ace, queen, 9, 5. The question is, how often you stab a higher than your normal buy-in? Well, I mean, if I play like, 25K, 50K, 100K, those type of things, which not often 25 will play, but I will, sell or get a sell action or get a deal where I play. Cause I'm not playing 100Ks on my own or even the 25. And look at this step in the 3-4 off. So the ace jack now, welcome sight, gonna rip it. And this is gonna be all even again. This is, wow, what a wild swing this is. This is a long heads up epic. So I can't go now. We're at 300K big blind, and I'm gonna hold on. This is I gotta be careful to hold your wee for a wee. That thing that happened. We're not in that territory yet, but I gotta go for sure. This is intense. We're all in record time. I think we're 3 hours 10 in. It's not a record, but it's up there. And yeah, I mean, if I take a shot, I'll sell action or swap and or if it's 100K, maybe get like a special deal. I play those, but again, tough territory you get into at that buy-in and those levels. Not a lot of giving away there, as we see the 3 deuce king 10. 3 deuce actually has the best of it. No real reason to bet. Shuts it back.
Shot clock's weighing heavy now. We're dead even.
It is on the nose, 7-5, 300K big blind there. This is as even as it could get. It's also for our dinner wager. Can't really get much more action. That's a big flop for the Jack 10. Better draw, better pair. Queen 7, the computer hand. We discussed that. Queen 7 off and 2 pair now.
The stakes have never been higher. Where are we going for dinner? I don't think Ben's losing.
I think winner gets to choose. That's part of the deal. I mean, that's got to be part of the thing. And club on the river, Jack 10 has a winner, Queen 7. Ben is officially winning this hand, and he is in the lead again. This is wild. Can't imagine using the restroom and then the thing ending. That would be too crazy. And at this point, I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern. 2,300 on right now. $100 giveaway given. $50 still pending tweet. Jeff Gross Poker. I'll do that after he's in the restroom. It's too intense right now. Jack 10, 9 million to 5.2 million. Is this where we started? After 45 minutes ago, I think I heads up. It was 9 million to 5 roughly. Then he is back where he started. And this is how they started, first and second. These two in this order, as a matter of fact. And he is go ahead and Pedro. Is there a little frustration setting in? He's just stabbing in the top pair, turns open-ended, but the donkey end and queen jack top pair open-ended. Pedro could assert some chips here, and he is going down a path that is not really good for him. And Ben here with the queen jack, key card, jack, and club, 7-8. Airball, does he want to go ahead and bet here? I mean, he's got 3 seconds on a shot clock. He's got 8 high. Yeah. He may fire big. This could be problematic. He's gonna rip it, and Ben, this could be the winner. I mean, he's got a lot. That board looks like a Christmas tree. He's got the jack, the queen. He's got a club, but it's not the nuts. But I think he may source a call. This could be your champion, Ben, for a second title. Is it? He's got 4 minutes to think about it. Pedro has 1 second left, and Ben is 1 click away from being your champion in an excellently played. There it is. He did it. Benjamin Rolle. What a comeback. What a day. What a stream. What a moment. Gets it done. Second title. Founder. Raise Your Edge. Also Ascend Gaming. Gets it done, man. The man streams, dreams, Hakeem's. Gets it. We both know Ben. Both respect him. And he is your champion today. This would be one of those ones where you click a button and get the call-in interview. Would be fun to do. Maybe we'll make that in the future, have that line open. But Aram, I appreciate the time. You are a very gracious co-host. I appreciate it. I know you're over in Europe and it's late. And tell me some takeaways for today. Definitely an epic final table, one that we will not forget. And kind of noticed the stack sizes. We had a feeling it'd be a little longer one. It was never really a ton of separation, pretty tight throughout. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, not sorry to correct you, but Armenia being my home country, so I just gotta say it. But yeah, it was a battle. A lot of interesting, unorthodox plays, and Ben really hung tough the whole time. Was really getting after it, and we could say fortune favors the bold, can't we?
Absolutely. He really attacked, even in the heads-up match. A lot of light 3 bets right off the start. Kind of didn't go his way, where the Pedro got into the lead and took advantage. You can see how tight it was. They were both about 5 5-1 favorites, and really no long shot other than AD, who got it going, doubled early. Pretty straightforward from there, and we saw a battle. It was really tight, and around 5-handed got a little bit wild, but other than that, it was pretty straightforward. So epic day, learned a lot, played a lot of cool hands we got to see, and a lot of epic of a battle heads up. Maybe our longest actual heads up battle, not our longest stream, but one of them, over 3 hours. Appreciate the time. Gonna have another big guest next week. We're gonna have another almost guaranteed big names, and of course a big prize pool here on the GG Millions, the Champions League of Poker. We will see you again. Thank you so much. Best of luck at your upcoming stops, and we give him a follow on Instagram in particular, Aram _Zoblan, and you can also reach out to him about some private coaching. He does that, and look at his resume, almost 6 million live earnings. Gotta believe the man knows what he's talking about. So again, thank you for the time. Appreciate you, and we will have a dinner of your choice when I see you next. So thank you very much.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Chef. Bye.